Hello, 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 everyone. Father Aaron here, the Dungeon Minister. And welcome to my birthday bash. Anyway, just a live stream, but it happens to be my birthday. Happy birthday to me. How's everyone doing out there? I hope I can be heard. I've got the microphone off to one side, so I hope it picks me up. If it doesn't, let me know. If I'm just wiggling my mouth and nothing's happening. But you wouldn't know that I'm saying this, so you wouldn't know. Anyway, hello. I hope you are well. I hope all is good in your world. And just a little bit ago, someone's world is awful. Thank you, Retro DM. Ray, how have you been doing? I haven't seen you around lately. I don't know if that's because you're not posting as much or because YouTube isn't telling me as much, which is possible. I hope it is a good day. Andrew. I did, and I've given the book to Fleetwood to read, and he has it up in his room because I was going to do a little review on it. I'll do the review without the book in hand. I'll do that tonight, actually. Because I gave it to Fleetwood to read, and he he's very much a teenager now, and so if you know, Papa says, "Oh, this is a good book. You should read it," he goes, "Okay." He used to be like, "Okay." Hungar, thank you very much. Hey, thank you, Ear Trumpet. There can be only one Islander. I hope you're having a good day as well, Mr. Hungar. Thank you very much for the super. Where's my mouse? I hid it behind stuff. Well, I've got to figure out. I've got to figure out the geography of my desk at some point. There we go. Put the water there. I just have to have water for the brushes because I am going to do a mini painting. I am going to paint a mini. Thank you. Yeah, before I get to the mini, though, I am going to do the... I do want to review A Night in the Lonely October. It was a neat book. Let me just quick get this. I don't want to... Yeah, I'm sure that's interesting for you. Okay. All right. Hello, Jason Harris. Hello. And Mark, and hey, thank you very much. So, A Night in the Lonely October by Zelazny. So, Andrew sent me this book by way of IQ, Intellectual Quandary, who came to Claricon from Britain, and apparently you guys know each other in real life. And he passed on this book. No, it was by way of John. It was by way of John, by Ye Olde Geek. Well, Ye Olde Geek and Intellectual Quandary were both there, but he sent it along, and I'll see if I can find. Oh no, I'm not going to be able to unbury my keyboard. I was going to search for the book and have a cover on screen, but what the cover looks like probably isn't that important. So if you know Zelazny, this would not be the book you'd expect out of him. If you know Zelazny, if you know the Amber Chronicles, hey, Rabovsky, thank you very much. If you know the Amber Chronicles, you'd be thinking, okay, this is what he does, this kind of masculine, 70s style, 60s, 70s style, cigarettes and wow, not A Night in the Lonely October. First of all, the main character is a dog, and it's told from the perspective of the dog. It's never explained how the dog wrote this down, but it doesn't matter. And it's really, really fun and creepy. It's a little Call of Cthulhu-ish. In fact, it's a lot Call of Cthulhu-ish. It's it's a fun book and intriguing. And the interesting thing is some of the chapters are extremely short. They're like, maybe 3 pages, right? And then later on, the chapters start to lengthen as the story builds and grows. But it's a very strange, interesting, engaging read. I thought it was a lot of fun and fun to read in October, although I read it mostly in November because post Claricon, I was like, everything drained out of my ears on my brain. So it wasn't. I got it in. I got A Night in Lonely November, but it was still very good. It's a very fun story. It takes place over the month of October, so you could read a chapter a day, but I would say do it at night. And some of the nights you'll be reading longer than other times. You'll just sit down. You won't take a sip of tea and then you'll be done already. But it's a really interesting book. It's a good read. The characterization of the dog as a watcher, one who watches, having a dog of our own now, I know this mania of the dog to watch. If someone's walking past the house, he loses his mind, people come to the door and it's all over. It's going down. So it's a very dog character. So a Night in the Lonely October. Really do recommend it. It's a lot of fun, and thank you very much, Andrew, for sending that along. It was very kind of you. Totally different Zelazny than you'd expect, but lots of fun. So. One thing you do on your birthday is show off the presents you got. Mine include from Bob Johnny 2 slimes. Hello, RPG Dad. Thank you. 2 slimes made out of hot glue. A couple slimes. Very fun. I also got Fleetwood made a grill scraper in school, in the wood shop in school, and so that's pretty good, which is good because the one that I've got, I've had it for years now, and it's getting a little grotty. I don't know if it's cleaning the grill anymore, so that was a nice thing. Chocolate, with some of which I will consume this evening. Pub mix, some of which I will consume this evening. And oh, this is heavy. It's really heavy. Oof. This way. A light. Because I am in the process right now of setting up a new studio down in the basement here. The space sharing over at the church office building, the church house. It's just there's a lot of people using space there now, and it's just gotten harder and harder not only to carve out the physical space where, okay, this will be where I do my filming, but also in terms of I can do the filming without someone just on the other side of a wall or up above me making noise. Because if you're in that space, when someone's walking, right, it's down in the basement of the church house, and when someone's walking through the kitchen up there, it sounds like Andre the Giant is clog dancing above your head. And it's not. It's like, a 95-pound woman walking softly, but it just, the way the place is built, so finding a time and access to the space was just getting impossible. So I moved out. Fortunately, I had recorded some stuff way back in August. I recorded it that I was able to edit recently, the last 2 episodes about the other campaign I run, the other group I run in the same campaign, in the same setting. I was able to edit that into good shape. But I'm setting up a new studio, and I'm actually filming that, so I'll be releasing some videos about how that process is going. It's in our basement here. So
Yeah, Flowfire figured I would need more light down there. Be right too, especially because one of the lights I've been using now for some time is like $5 job from the dollar store, and I'm sure it's only got so much time on it before it explodes on me. Anyway, so that's the stuff going on here for birthday wise. Now, production equipment, yes. Well, that is that's the thing. That's very kind of you. That's very kind of you, Rubovsky. The other thing we're going to do tonight is paint minis, and so I'm going to again poll the audience, as it were. I've got some stuff, and these were sent to me by Dirty Basement Terrain. Lawrence sent these up. Here's one. Giant, obviously. I mean, he's much smaller than me, but in miniature terms, he's a giant. Stern-looking fellow. Does he have pointed ears? He does have pointed ears. But he has a beard, so he's not a giant elf. Harsh-looking fellow. Is that a frost giant, or is it? What is it? What is it, and what? And should I choose him? From Skyrim, might be lankier than your usual hill giant. Rowski says. Speaking of giants, there is a giant skeleton. Now, I have a giant skeleton that I made using a Halloween decoration from the dollar store, but that one is very fragile. This guy would be sturdier. Looks like he's got Thanksgiving leftovers, doesn't it? Got a turkey. Like I could paint that up like a turkey. Like that'd be funny. There's that guy. And the third choice is this guy. Oh, I hear one of my players coming down the stairs. It's this fellow. Looks pretty wicked. So there it is. Those are the choices. We got one. I think so, Robovsky. I think so. One. We got two. We got three. What do you think I should take on? Yeah, Art, I kind of thought he might be a scene stealer. No back legs, so I think Robovsky's right. Sort of like that. I don't know if he even that is that or what he is. The end of the tail doesn't have any thing on that. So I don't know that it is. Actually, maybe it isn't. Maybe it's just some sort of hybrid thing. They don't all have to obey the rules of Dungeons and Dragons monsters, right? Thank you, Longshot 9060. Thank you very much. So 1, 2, 3. Again, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, in terms of feet, you'd think Wyvern, but in terms of Stinger, not so much. Anyway, which of those should I tackle tonight? I don't know that I'll finish them if they're this big. Although, really, when it comes down to it, they don't have like a bigger mini isn't really more time consuming to paint, I find, because I kind of slop stuff on. But I really find actually with a truly miniature mini takes a long time getting in there, trying to find the crevices. So what do you think? 1, 2, or 3? I got vote for the Wyvern/dragon thing. The wagon. It's a wagon. It's a different. It's a wagon. Yeah. I had a couple of other things, but they were in a box up on a shelf, and I had them on top of some. I did these battle mat things that Black Magic Craft had the idea of using these rubber boot mats for a basing and using caulk on them, and you could roll them up between. The problem is if you roll them up, they don't unroll very well. If you leave them rolled up for any amount of time, they don't unroll well. So you have to store them flat. Well, if you're storing them flat, you might as well just make them rigid to start with, because then you don't have the curling problem. So it was one of the other things, like, good idea, but not so much. Anyway, but I had them up on the shelf, and then I had the box on top. This is a plastic bin with some minis in it, and the curls, slowly move. And I'm sitting in my chair and crash down on top of my head. This thing comes. It's a plastic bin, so it wasn't a big deal, but scared the living daylights out of me. And then all these minis go everywhere, and plastic shards, pieces of them. So I've got all the shards, and I can glue them back together, but I don't. They haven't been glued back together, and they're not primed. So what I have tonight. So far I have got 2 votes for the lizard. If you think something other than the lizard, Watagon, the wagon. If you think anything other than the wagon, let me know. So then that's a big crack there. Do I still have putty? I might be able to shove some putty in there just to seal that up before I start painting. I might do that. I'm going to do that anyway, right now. Where is it? Here it is. If this stuff is still soft, it's been in there a while. Soft like my head. I gotta get my. Oh, dig deep. Oof. Sorry, doing stuff off camera here. Hey, Josh. Isn't it? Well, we're up in the air whether it is a dragon, a wyvern, or a wagon, or a divern, a drivern. Because he's got 2 legs like a wyvern, but the tail isn't stingy. He has a jabberwock mouth. 'Twas Brelig and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the way, all mimsy with the borough groves and the mome wraths outgrabe. All right. It's iridescent, which is, iridescent is very hard to paint. If you're looking for iridescent painting techniques, don't come here. I am not likely to do that well. I know my skills, and that ain't one of them. You say dragons, some wyverns are also dragons. Sometimes a pipe is just a pipe. Sometimes a wyvern is just a wyvern, eh? Okay, I'm going to shed this. For one thing, because it makes me look like a British street thug. And second of all, because it's a bit warm. So what has everyone else been up to? How was your Thanksgiving, those of you who are American? How was your Thanksgiving? Did you have a good time? Did you eat too much? I hope so. Let's scooch up close here. I hope you overate to your heart's content. I'm going to put the camera down because my face will be less interesting than the wyvern. Guarantee, or dragon, or wagon. No matter what. Don't steal my car. Okay, let's see. You can see my slimes from Bob Johnny. Okay. I do too. And I get the right type of light. Turkey crown. Okay, turkey crown. Do you mean that you wore a turkey on your head? Rob, went to the movies with family and had a nice time. What movie did you see? What movie did you see? What's even out now? I just don't know. Ooh, kind of hard. That lid was too easy to take off. I knew as I felt that it wasn't going to be a good result. It's not totally hard, but it's not great either. Tool use, advanced tool use. Yeah, I don't even know what's in the theaters anymore. The breastplate. Okay, gotcha. Greetings, no one of consequence. Hello, nomadic artist. Hello. Last movie we went to was the Fantastic Four. I took the boys to that. We'd gotten a gift card. I probably wouldn't have gone otherwise. It wasn't. I mean, it was interesting. It was a neat movie. It looked like fun. It wasn't one that I would have gone to. I never read Fantastic Four comic books. I never was interested in them. When I was interested in comic books back in the day, that was not my jam. So I wouldn't have gone. I'm glad we did. It was fun. I mean, it wasn't like earth-shattering or anything. Had a wonderful Thanksgiving with friends. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, nomadic artist. Zootopia 2. Oh, I didn't know there was a second Zootopia. There you go. Aging gracefully. Do you like the picture? You know what that is? Every once in a while, just for giggles, I go to an AI art generator and I ask it to generate I just put the only description I give is the Dungeon Minister. That's it. I don't say anything else. I don't give it any context, the Dungeon Minister YouTube channel or anything. I just say the Dungeon Minister. And that was one of the things it spat out today. It gives you 4 options. One of them looked like some sort of anime, like a bear, a cute little bear, which didn't feel like me. But the way I woke up this morning, the skeleton about covered it. That was about what I was feeling like this morning. I thought that works. That works. Get in there. Get in there. I don't know about the wisdom of painting it so soon after putting it in, but you know what? No one has ever accused me of having wisdom. Yeah, Ravosky, that's what I was thinking. I mean, it was fine. It wasn't stellar, but you know what it was? It was entertaining. It didn't feel preachy. It didn't feel forced. It was just this movie, and the only thing I really didn't like about that movie, because again, it wasn't fabulous, but it wasn't at all bad. It was what I didn't like about that movie was the post-credit scene indicating there was going to be another one. I'm like, no, just leave it. Just leave it. It was fine as it was. Quit doing that. You don't have to have, not everything has to be a franchise. Just make a movie. But that's not going to happen. I have actually, John, recovered from Claricon, but this is just fresh tired. It wasn't even tired. It was just achy. Woke up achy. Don't tell my heart. Don't tell my body. My achy, breaky body. Oh, there's another crack in the neck, but you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it. I'm not. All right, folks. I feel like maybe going on something a little less natural looking with this, like a bluish green, maybe greenish blue. What do I have? I'd have to mix it though. That's one. I'm always leery of mixing because if I mix, then I can't. If I want to put new paint on, I have to mix it to be very similar to the original. So let's see. What do I got in paint? Don't have much blue. I mean, got these two. if I give it... Okay. That's not the kind of green I'm thinking of. I'll give it a shot of just plain old green. Okay. You really want a good original fantasy movie or TV series and with an emphasis on dwarves. I love Doctor Doom, but I'd rather they left him out entirely and then introduce him later. Well, yeah, you know, I mean, I get the tease and the fact that they've already teased the fact that Robert Downey Jr. is going to play him, which I think was cheap. Like there are other actors in the world, and he wasn't required for success in a movie. But I get why they would want to use him because obviously you do what works, right? But yeah, you know the TV series I'm looking forward to. It's not really a TV series. It's a streaming service series. Is Pendragon Cycle. I think that looks very, very cool. I think that looks very, very, very cool. There's no dwarves, though, unfortunately. Okay. Well, let's see what I can make with my painting, with my paints here. Try to mix it on camera this time. Okay, I don't have much of that. That may indicate it'll be more green. Why did you choose that palette? Because I ran out of blue. That ought to be enough to cover him. You'd think. I'll throw in a little more. The show needs dwarfs. Well, Peter Dinklage says he can't do that now. Apparently. Let's see. What do I got? I'm not going to use a brush to mix. That's not great. There's a drawer just off to the side, the chest of drawers. My crafting storage. Okay, needs more green. Needs more green. Okay, that's not a color found in nature. Sort of. More green. Now the show looks good. I mean, I'm sure it can't compare budget-wise to a Hollywood movie, but then I think if the last, 10 years has taught us anything, it's that a big budget does not a good movie make. You know, I mean, how much was spent on the Eternals, the Immortals, the Everlasting? What was that? They were all gold. It was a bad movie at any rate. The Eternals, was it? I can't remember. That's how forgettable it is. I don't even remember the name of the thing. A Dwarven Cleric. You know, the only 5e game I've ever played, I ran a Dwarven Cleric. Oh, no, that's not true. That I did run another... No, that was Hollow World. Yeah, the only 5e thing I've ever played was a cleric. That's not quite what I want. Not quite. I'm experimenting with the paint mixing here, people. A teal dragon. So you know what? It's not. This is not a dragon that is in the. It's not a dragon from the set. Not a dragon from the set. Yeah. I'm mixing colors and I'm not terribly happy with it. I'm just dumping paint into an egg carton. Let's get closer. It kind of gets subsumed, doesn't it? It really gets subsumed into this aggressively teal mix I've made. I think I'm going to do something here, which may be unwise, but I'm going to try it anyway. Reduce the proportions a bit. Robin's egg dragon. I'm just throwing paint away here. That's getting to it. There you go. That's closer. It really subsumes into that same color. Wow. It's like however much green I throw at it. I'm seeing barely any difference between these two. What am I going for? You know what, Josh? I'll know it when I see it. I'll know it when I see it. I don't have any skill in this area, in case you hadn't noticed. I don't know palettes and colors, and yeah, I know the colors. It's the green. Yeah, well, you know what it amounts to, artists, I was cheap. Now, I will say in painting actual minis, I don't bother anymore, partly because of just this problem of mixing being an inexact art, and if I wanted to get the exact same color again, I never would be able to. All I do now, I do that, and that's my palette for painting, because that's going to give me what I need, you know, for a 20mm mini. But for a big guy like this, I'm going to use more, and I wanted to get it. I don't like that. I don't like it. I want to like it, but I don't. I know what I'll do. I'll throw more paint away. Public Pool Green Dragon. As an artist, you might be able to help. God bless you. If I knew what I was looking for, you probably would. You probably would be if I had any idea what it was I was going for. That's closer. There we go. That's getting into the range. Yeah. You know what? I'm deciding that's what I was looking for, so I can stop. Okay. Well, if you're an artist, you may want to. I mean, you're of course, I'm happy to see you here and happy to have you watching, but just for your sake, you may want to look away, because what I'm about to do for the next hour and a half is probably going to hurt your soul. Remember where I put these this time. Last time I streamed, I set my glasses down and I couldn't find them afterward for an hour. Pool Dragon is actually a cool idea. Yeah, okay. My uncle once had a mobile home, a 3-piece suit, and a Chevrolet Impala with all Robin's egg blue. If he parked his car in front of his mobile home and wore his suit, all you could see is a floating head. Well, okay, I'm just going to dive right in, because what else do you do? This will be the color for the back. I'll do something else for his belly. I'll do a similar, you know, for the belly. Better do it on camera. Better do it on camera for the nice people. So, yeah. Do this, do the belly after. Really, I should do the belly first and then this, because the belly's underneath, but you know what? I'm throwing all rules away today, because it's my birthday, so I'll do whatever I want to do. So because this is not going to adhere to any, you know, pre-made monster in the books, because it's obviously not really a wyvern and it's not a dragon, I'll have to stat the thing up, which I have absolutely no problem doing. I like to just throw stats together for things. It's fun. Well, bless you, nomadic artist. It is the only thing that has kept me sane. That and the heavy medication. Well, I don't know. Generally, my take on art is does it look like what it's supposed to look like? And in my case, it might not. I gotta tell you, it might not. But that's okay, because as Dirty Basement Terrain, as Lawrence always says, the only person you have to worry about is yourself, because it's your mini. He says terrain because he's making terrain, but it counts with minis too. Counts with minis too. I don't even know where oh, there's the eye. My heavens. devilish looking fellow. Try not to get any in the eye. Don't get paint in his eye, folks. That's unkind. I'm going to go ahead and get in there, and then I'm going to touch the tops of these spikes with another color, but I want to get the bottoms this green before I go any further. You know what? The more I put this on, the more I like it, which is good because I can't take it off now. I could paint over it, but I'm sort of stuck with it. Chlorine Dragon, there you go. Dipping in and dipping out, working the closing weekend of Texas Renaissance Festival this week. Hey, all right. Exhaustion beckons, I'll bet. Happy chatting and painting to you all. Have a good night there, John Stewart Keller. You have a very good night. Try holding it by the base while painting. It'll give you better control and vision. I got it now. Let's see. You like the color? Thanks. Thank you very much. I'm it's growing on me as it grows on the dragon, which again is good because I'm not gonna strip it off. That's for sure. Okay, backs of the wings, the same color, different color. What do you think? I know the underside of the wings. There's arms here, little handses that come out. Yeah, I will come and be more delicate with details later, but right now there's some sprue there. That's definitely sprue. It's not intended detail. Get off there. Get off. I won't. Oh, you're tough. You're tough. Well, you know what? Ah, there we go. Got it. Ha. Just as I was about to say it's going to stay on because I can't get it off, it came off. Likes are free. That is true. That is true. Okay. So I'm thinking, what can this guy's particular role be? And you know what? I've got an idea. There's a city that I've been planning, kind of sitting on in design process, and I think he's going to be in that city. Yeah, he's a city dragon. His cousin, the country dragon, comes to visit him, and hilarity ensues. Do you ink wash with your miniatures? I do not. Oh, hey, little Midnight Slayer, how you doing? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm going to do the membrane, the different shade, top and bottom, different colors, but not wildly different, but they're going to be separate from each other and separate from the dragon. I don't do ink washes. I know it's probably a perfectly normal, but it seems very exotic to me. You may notice from my technique or lack thereof, I'm not exactly professional about this kind of thing. I'm sort of sure, whatever about it all. So ink washes seem to me to be terribly advanced. And again, maybe they're not. Maybe it's perfectly easy, but to me seems it's like, do you go to the moon for vacation? I'm like, what? I don't understand your words. Okay. Oh, bless you. Thank you, Art. Thank you. Let's see. Public pool dragon confirmed. He'll whistle to tell you to get out of the pool. Really like your dragon color gives me a 90s anime vibes. Also, you totally should have chlorine breath attack that we totally unexpected could damage metal weapons and armor. Truth. Thank you, Midnight Slayer. That's actually a campaign's been going for a long time, but yeah, I've just started recapping, and I don't know how much detail I'll go into. I don't know if I'll really stick with them. I'll probably do like I'm doing now, just do broad stroke recaps every once in a while, because I want to stick with the Honeywood group, and I've got a backlog for them. Not as much of a backlog as I would like, because as I noted somewhere, with Fleetwood in going to school now and working now. Yes, we have a monthly online campaign. If you are a patron, plays the first Saturday of the month. I have to say, on this month is a bit of a question mark, because that is the day of our parish's Christmas bazaar, and I really need to be there to participate. So I don't know if we can either move times or days, because I know if we move it to the next Sunday, then Cato can't play because he's down under, and it's Saturday is Sunday for him. But whatever happens with this coming Saturday, it's normally the first Saturday of the month at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And we play in the land that the Thane controls. She has an old title from a previous style of governance they've kept in her area. They've kept those old titles of Thane, and so she still has that. But that's where the online patron group. That's where they campaign. Raining in Colorado. We had snow in eastern Iowa. We have snow here now. We've got snow here now as well. We've got snow here now. Yeah, and we got hit. Actually, the communities around us got hit worse. We survived with a bit of snow, but not as bad. Please keep them up like the other corners of your world. Yeah, I can't do Sundays in the early, obviously. Different times than Saturday. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking more like a different Saturday or a different time, just for this month, because of the Christmas bazaar. The rector should really be there for it. And the big thing is actually, because it's earlier in the day, but the big thing is the cleanup afterward, which I'm generally pretty involved in. The other thing I'm doing this year, I'm making these, this tail. Oh, why didn't you pick one of the giants? Good heavens, this is a complex mini. I'm making these, the whole tail, the whole thing's getting green. I don't care anymore. Get a spray can, get over here. I'm making these wooden board games. It's a game called Fox and Geese. And so one player controls 13 geese to start, because the other player controls a fox and he can eat the geese. The geese win if they trap the fox and the fox can't move. The fox wins, obviously, by eating the geese. And at some point, there are too few geese that they can no longer adequately surround him. I mean, even if they technically could, there aren't enough on the board to bully the fox around to get where they want. So it's a game. Every time I've run it, again, I haven't played against another person, but every time I've run it with myself, the fox has won easily. But I found a set of instructions that say, well, clearly the geese have an easier time winning. And I'm like, really? I'm not seeing that. But I guess, maybe. You know what? The whole thing, I'm not bothering underside, upper side, and I'm going to find some other way to differentiate, because this guy twists around so much that I think I've already painted underside and top side the same color. So anyway, yeah, so I'm making this fox and geese game, It's just wooden board with marbles, so white marbles and one orange marble, and it's pretty cool. It's a fun little game. Every time I've played it, the fox has won, but and pretty handily. But apparently, other people say no, the geese have the easier time. Well, what I read is that if the geese play a perfect game, as in very, very careful and not giving the fox any opportunities, they should win. But I don't see how, because they've got to get the fox to. There are only some parts of the board where the fox can win, because if they don't approach him the right way, he can eat him. I suppose the fact that he has to move every round helps. I guess a visual would have helped here if I was talking about this thing, but I don't have. The only boards I have here are just blocks of wood still. I haven't drilled them. I did a test one. Gonna drill them like this weekend or early next week, because the bazaar is on the 6th. Does anyone else know what December 6th is, in addition to this year, the first Saturday in December? Test your knowledge of saints' feasts. It's a really special day. Okay. Pink or eggshell color would look great as a complementary color to the inner rings. That's kind of what I was thinking. And then yellow for the spikes on his back, down the back of his spine, a yellowish color for that. And I'm okay going garish on this one, because he sort of has a slightly rooster feel to him, to me. I don't know why, like a cockatrice kind of feel getting off of him. Done. Good night, everybody. Did you ever hear that? Steve Martin, as an album he did, the King Tut album, he talks about Michelangelo painted Da Vinci painted the Mona Lisa in one stroke. There, how's that? No. It's like when people see modern art, they say, "Oh, I could do that." Da Vinci painted that in one stroke. How's that? That's why I have the sense of humor I do. It's because as a child, way, way, way too young, I was allowed to listen to Steve Martin records. I feel like sometimes the parenting choices from the 1970s and 80s sort of questionable. December 7th? Well, yes, that had other implications, but I'm talking about the 6th. That is a day that will live in infamy. There's a totally different arrival on the 6th. And someone out there's got to have Google. Can you do the Google? Do you know what December 6th is? One of my favorites, personally. Let's see. I'll catch up on this. Definitely the 90s Mall Dragon. Yes, 90s Mall Dragon. If I did black and teal, right? Getting cold in Atlanta. No idea about the 6th. Oh, don't worry, Josh. He has migrated in a way in the popular imagination. December 6th is St. Nicholas Day. St. Nicholas, Bishop of Myra, Turkey. Tutmania was a thing. I remember a Smithsonian article. My grandparents got the Smithsonian, and I remember an article that they must have, by the time I saw it, it must have been old. But talking about all about the discovery and all the, it was when, maybe it wasn't that old actually, because I think it was from when it went on tour in the States, which was, I don't know how old I was. There was a big tour of everything, which is part of what Steve Martin was building on with that. He was taking advantage of. Taking advantage of. It sounds so rapacious, but just he was spoofing on, I guess, is the better word for it. Greetings, grumpy old Slan. Greetings. Talking about the patron saint of thieves. Well, you know, Nicholas does get around. Nicholas also famously slapped a man for speaking the Arian heresy at the Council of Nicaea. So you see these memes that show a picture of Bishop Nicholas. I mean, in the Eastern Orthodox style, painfully thin mitre, and it'll say something like, "I'm here to slap heretics and hand out presents, and I'm all out of presents." Saint Nicholas as a tough. I like that. I'm here to slap heretics and hand out presents, and I'm all out of presents. When I was a little kid, defender of the faith, posture of heretics, yes. Was it Hail Mary, full of grace, punch the devil in the face? It's so great. But when I was a little kid, I was at a restaurant, and it was around maybe this time of year, maybe a little later, and it must have been a little bit later because I don't think you'd have a Santa in the restaurant, especially in the 70s. Like now you might. It's as early as October. But there was a guy, dressed as Santa going around talking to the kids, and he comes to our table. And I don't know if he'd had a long shift or what. But it was breakfast. I'm sure it was breakfast. And he asks what I wanted for Christmas. And I was a little kid. Like 7, maybe 8. So I wasn't, I wasn't real big and bold or anything like that. And I don't know if I hesitated or if I said I didn't know or I was nervous or whatever. This guy says, "What do you want for Christmas? A knuckle sandwich?" And he actually, his fist, white glove and everything. Santa threatened to punch me. The 70s were so weird. Oh, man. What was that restaurant? Was it a Denny's or something? I can't remember. Well, we didn't have a Denny's in time. Maybe it was the Waffle House. What was the name of that place? Oh, I can't remember. Too old. We also had in town, we had God bless them. Again, God bless the 1970s. We had a Little Black Sambo's restaurant. I love that place. I thought Sambo was awesome. I loved that story. I thought he was the bomb. Little Black Sambo. 1970s. You don't find a lot of those around today. Don't find Richard Pryor. Are you serious? Are you serious? Okay. I'm fussing now because I'm afraid of doing anything else. I also keep seeing areas I've missed, and then they're impossible to get because of this pose, like Mr. I don't know, Yoga Dragon here. Hot Yoga. That's what his name's going to be. Hot Yoga the Dragon. Like, come on, Downward Dog, everyone. That pose. Look how little paint I'm using. Like I made all this paint. It was because I was chasing a color that I had never really quite captured, but I do. I'm liking what I'm using. It's grown on me. And that downward dog pose is like the play bow. That's what it really amounts to. When dogs do that, it's like they're saying, "Play, let's play." Draconic Twister. In the 90s, our Santa drove by being pulled by a fire truck throwing candy to us in stockings while drunk on eggnog. There you go. George Carlin. IHOP, that's it. Thank you. International House of Pancakes. Thank you. Thank you, Grumpy. Drewister. Well, this guy's got more names than he knows what to do with. Okay, got some detail work to do in this same color. Let's get this brush rinsed off because I don't need this brush in this color anymore. Yeah, wild. And we were just talking about that, about the sort of strange, the difference in how different the world was in the 70s and 80s. Um, the 70s, 80s, and today. At dinner, the dog was begging like crazy. And I don't know, he keeps begging. We had these chicken wings with dinner, but they were really spicy. And I generally never find anything that you can find commercially. I don't find it that spicy. Like if it's a fast food kind of restaurant. And this was just Pizza Hut, but I don't know if the kid making them just dumped the whole bottle in or what, but it was very spicy today. Or it's because I'm older now. I'm mature. Hello, poor orc child. How you doing? It's growing on him kind of like green slime. It's the dog's begging. And of course I'm saying, well, we should give him some and that'd teach him. But of course it wouldn't. He wouldn't learn a thing. He'd run around trying to get away from his own mouth and then come right back and do it again because he's a dog. But yeah, we were talking about, I had a neighbor growing up when I was 10, 11. We lived next door to the Stasio twins, Albert and Jason. And if Albert and Jason are out there, God bless you. Send me a note. The Stasio brothers were great. They had all the toys, and their parents, like mine, like everyone's parents in the 80s and 70s and 80s, their parents were divorced. And I think their dad did a certain amount of attempting, both their parents, mom and dad, did a certain amount of attempting to purchase their son's affections, which is what parents did in the 70s and 80s. And I had, good heavens, I had the Millennium Falcon. I had the AT-AT. I also had that weird AT-AT playset. It was the exact same playset as they had done for the Sandcrawler, but then they just redid it and did it with the AT-AT. I think before the full-sized AT-AT came out. So I had the full-size one, but before that I had that cardboard one. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the Stasios had a dog. I can't remember the dog's name. I've been trying to remember the dog's name since dinner time when we had this conversation. Because I told Magoo, like, if he keeps it up, we're going to tie him up in the backyard like a 70s dog. And yeah, the Stasios had a dog. It was tied up on their back porch, and it had, I don't know, 20, 30 feet of chain. So it could go a decent distance. And it was a real light chain. It wasn't like a big heavy thing, but still. But it was permanently tied up. Like it didn't go anywhere. Right. And I never saw that dog off of that chain. And sure, at some point it was, but I never saw it. And they lived just across our driveway. So there they were. Dog also begged like crazy back in the days. Yes. Well, that's probably why they were tied outside, But that poor dog, I didn't think about that. And the dog had a place in the garage that he could get to. The chain allowed him into the garage, and they had a bed and everything, a little cozy hut, doghouse kind of thing. The dog didn't know any different, right? I feel sorry for the dog, but the dog didn't know any different. So it's not like the dog was sitting there going, other dogs get to go inside. That dog had no idea. It's probably just like, hey, great, I got a nice warm place to live. I don't care. I'm a dog. But today, somebody would be on the phone calling, animal cruelty or something. Because really, honestly, the dog never left that backyard. And of course, the area around the back porch was just dirt because the dog was always running back and forth. I should do this later because I'm going to slop more paint on it. I'm just going to cover it up. I shouldn't be doing this now. I should do that later. Okay, let's see. Details on the face. Just to get... Actually, that seems like a different texture. I'll do that in another different color. Do the horn in a different color. The underside in a different color. Yeah. So largely unnecessary what I just did. Oh well. I'll have to redo it all later. But it was fun, and it covered the story about the dog. What was that dog's name? It was a female. She was a she. I think it was a she. And she was a nice. A lot of times, dogs that stay tied up get kind of mean, right? Because this chain and everything. But she actually was a perfectly nice dog. You could go pet her. She wasn't at all. She would bark like crazy, but she wasn't at all nasty. And she only barked when people came around. Like if someone came to our side door, facing their yard, she'd bark. I mean, we knew when someone was coming to visit. That dog was going crazy. What was that dog's name? Anyway, dogs are God's best creatures. Well, you know what? They're up there. They're up there. I rather think that the meerkat has a spot on that list too. But dogs are certainly sweethearts. Our dog is. He can be obnoxious at times, but so can humans. So can't hold that against him too much. Really, when it comes down to it, of course, a dog is only being bad or obnoxious by our standards, and it's just because they're obeying their instincts, and we think of it as bad because it's inconvenient to us. But it's really just a dog being a dog. I mean, if you're going to have a dog, it's kind of up to you to be smarter than the dog and to prevent the dog's instincts from making it a pest to you, right? You have to arrange the dog's environment so that the dog can't be a pest to you, and train the dog, teach the dog not to do things that bother you. They're extremely teachable because, of course, they want to fit into the pack. They're a pack animal. They want to be part of the group. So they're pretty easy to train overall. Fofire is very good at teaching dogs basic stuff, like she's not doing tricks or anything. But, well, I would think so, Road March. You got a dog as your profile picture. You clearly are quite fond of your pooches, and understandably so. Understandably so. Got to go have a good night. Hey, you have a good night too, Grumpy. You have a good night too. Thank you. Good old Slan. Slan, he's a very good man. A very good man is Slan. Okay. Now, top wings, I'm going to take that and I'm going to lighten it. Hello, Elder Goblin Games. You are part of the group. Welcome. This group is telling dog stories and painting a dragon. And wow, needing much more paint than that. Okay, slop over. I'm not going to... I put way too much paint in. Way too much. On the other hand, I've had 3 different versions of this holiday green. I don't need 3 different. So if I throw all that away, it's not going to be any great loss to me. It's dollar store paint anyway. It's not. It ain't precious. My precious. Yesterday, so I mentioned that I'm having to make myself a new studio, right? So I'm down in the church basement cutting lumber because they've got a little wood shop down there. Which, if I took the wood shop out, I guess I could put the studio there, but I'd still have the noise issue. And I was being the noisy one. I think I'm going to do this color top of wings and a sort of even lighter or yellowish, maybe even pinkish for the bottom. Let's see. Sure. Anyway, I was down there cutting lumber up. And when I'm working on something, especially like a woodworking project, I tend to do silly voices to myself. And I was down there talking to myself in a bad southern accent. Like, all right now, son, well, what you got to do here now? I got to cut this here lumber. Got to get this down to 4 to 1 inches. Got to do 2 of them at 4 to 1 inches. Now, I do 2 at 4 to 1 inches. That's 82 total. So I'm going to be able to get that out of an 8-foot piece of lumber, because that ain't 4 feet per, because 4 feet core, that'd be 48 inches. You know your math, don't you, buddy? Yeah, you know your math. 2 4-footers and make an 8, but I'm not even doing 4 foot, so that's going to be just fine and dandy. And I'm doing all this, and then I realize there are people in the next room. And they had been talking in there. Hail from the south, Death Angel Shadow. How are you doing? There are people in the other room, and they were they were chit-chatting about stuff. And when I went down there, I could hear them in there talking and laughing and working on something in there. And I get yammering to myself. Then I realize they have stopped. And it's just utterly quiet. They're still in there. I can hear you breathing. But they've stopped because they're just in there like, what the heck is he doing out there? They'd stopped. And I saw one of them later, and he was like, being real awkward, like he wasn't going to talk to me. Like, what, you freak? Yeah, I'm going to have to redo what I did with these little fingerlings here. Silly of me to do that. I'm not thinking. Not thinking, I do not do the thinking so much. How's things in the south? You couldn't possibly be getting snow. Though I hear it's getting cold in Atlanta. I don't think snow in Atlanta, not this early. I think you do eventually get some, don't you? Thanks. Yeah, I'm thinking so, to pick up the real details. Silly, how do you know what my neighbors sound like? Home all alone, wife is working, our roommate's out and about, so I'm making some noise tonight. Sawing and drilling. See, that's what I was doing, sawing and drilling. Do you do funny voices to yourself while you saw and drill as well? I was sawing, no drilling, but lots of sawing. And you know what I did? Oh, gosh. So I've got a couple of, not really parishioners. They're sort of, they orbit the parish, would be the way to put it. They don't belong to a church, but if they belonged to a church, it would be our church. And they belong to the church community. Like every dinner we do, every breakfast, every fundraising event, they help raise money. They just don't come to church. Lovely people. Actually, also awesome people. They are animators, and they worked on the Inspector Gadget and droids and Ewoks and all sorts of stuff from our childhood. Dave and Dale Cox, lovely, lovely, lovely people. Anyway, what was I saying now? What was I even talking about? Wow, I lose my brain so quickly. Already had snow once. My heavens, we've had a lot of snow. They were fabulous shows. I was a huge Inspector Gadget fan when I was a kid, and meeting them was like meeting royalty, and he can still draw an Inspector Gadget, just he's getting up there in age now. Actually, I guess now he probably would be less able to, but when I met him, he was just, he'd draw those things. And what was I going to say about the Coxes? Oh, shoot. I slopped on the old, this is what I always do, people. It's what I always do. I am not a very tidy painter. What was I even talking about now? The voices, what was I talking about? Oh, well. I can't follow my own conversation. I confuse me. I confuse myself. Oh, no, they closed down in your area? Or did you move? Yeah. Well, I hadn't gone to church at all in my adult life until I moved in across the street from this nosebleed high Episcopal cathedral. And when I say nosebleed high, I mean 3 fully vested sacred ministers at the altar, incense every Sunday, not just on special occasions, thank you very much. Invocation of the saints. I mean, honestly, the Pope would blush, especially the current Pope. He'd blush getting a look at this. It was high Anglicanism. And yeah, I went over to the church just because they had it's a long story. But I went over to the church one Sunday because I wanted to see inside, essentially. And I didn't want to go like on a weekday and ask to see the place, because then they'd have me one-on-one and they'd corner me and ask me about, Jesus. And I didn't want to talk about Jesus. But now I talk about Jesus for a living. But so I went on Sunday, and I was gobsmacked. I had never seen church like that. I had never ever seen church like that. Gone to a sort of safe Lutheran and a really kind of boring Methodist. Not that Methodism is boring, but that church was a boring Methodist church. Never had seen anything like that. The smells and the bells. Randomly make voices or sing when you think you're alone. I think I'm alone now. Or as Weird Al would have it, I think I'm a clone now. There's always two of me just hanging around. I wonder if I'll get a copyright strike for that. I don't tend to get copyright strikes for when I do these little songs because I'm so off key that the computer's like, well, no, that's not. No, that can't possibly. And growing up in the 80s, the 70s and 80s, you saw like everything from Steppenwolf to Tiffany. And everything in between. I do think it was one of the best times to grow up in terms of music, the 70s and 80s. People will say the 60s, but really, I think the 70s was better. I remember hearing Billy Joel's The Stranger on the radio, and it freaked me out. It throws you when you hear the actual lyrics. Yeah. Yeah, I'm like that with Eye of the Tiger. And Fleetwood has started playing, because of course we have, the streaming, one of those Alexa devices, right? And it just heard me. Howdy, Patrick Buckley. Buckley, how you doing? Can't say I've ever been to an Episcopal church. Raised non-denominational Pentecostal charismatic is the closest. Gotcha. A rock band at every church I went to. Moving in January to Mississippi. Won't miss the winter weather. No, you won't. Yeah, this was this Episcopal church was not like most Episcopal churches. This Episcopal church was like a Roman church pre-Vatican II. I mean, everything but the Latin. It was in English, but other than that. But man, I'm so far off of wherever I had been on topic. I don't know what I was talking about. I was talking about how did I get on to Dave and Dale Cox? I was trying to figure out how I got there. What was I was talking about? What on earth brought me to that subject? I mean, they're lovely people. I talk about them all day. I love them. They're great. But why was I talking about them? Oh, well. Man, this wing. It's cool stuff. I like this model. I'm finding it a challenge to get the nooks and crannies. But what I've decided to go easier on myself in terms of the quality of my paint job, because I have no option. I can't do any better than I can do, and I just refuse to feel bad about it anymore. I should do it on camera though. that I can feel bad about. I'll try to do it. You know what? I'll make it easier on myself. I'll raise the camera. That way I can still do it over here and you can still see it. That was rude of me. God bless none of you for saying, hey, schmuck, put it back on camera. Or maybe you're out there saying, I can't even look at what he's doing to this model. It's so bad. I want to look away. Oh, thank heavens, he's doing it off camera, so I don't have to see it. Oh, well. Yeah, I can't remember what got me on that topic. We were talking dogs. The new studio. Oh, yes. Thank you, Midnight. Thank you. I was talking about the new studio. Cutting the lumber. So they gave me this old chop saw, because as I said, they're getting older, so they're not doing any chopping or sawing. It's really no chop sawing. So I had this old chop saw, and it's perfectly good. It works. The blade on it, though, was deadly dull, and they gave me a replacement blade. Yeah, I was talking about the gadgets because it was the studio. This is because it was the Coxes, Dale and Dave. Dale is a woman. She was named after the character Dale something in Flash Gordon. Her mother really liked that. So like she came by being an animator, honestly. Anyway, they gave me this chop saw, which I was using to cut lumber for the new studio because I am putting up a basically kind of a fake wall behind myself so that I can have paneling on it like I have in the old studio. And the reason I want the paneling is that it makes projecting the words that the statues say so much easier because then you don't need a speech bubble, right? If you did it against a complicated background, it makes the words hard to read. Anyway, I'm cutting all this stuff, and the 2x4s are fine. It's cutting through those fine. But then I was going to make these game boards, and it's a pretty thick. It's like a 2x6, but it's a real dense wood. It's a hardwood of some kind. I think it's pine or something. Not pine. What's it called? Maple, not oak. Maple. So it's dense. It's and every time I would cut one, a chunk for the game board, is smoke everywhere. And so finally I said, I'm going to set off the alarm here, right? We're going to get a fire truck pulling up. I've got to figure out, so I said, well, they gave me a replacement blade. I thought it was actually an old blade. I didn't think it was a new blade because the outer package was so beat up. I thought it was old. I mean, it was old, but it had never been used. It's a brand new sharp blade. So brand old, maybe. Anyway, so I changed that out and like, duh, I felt so stupid because I'd smoked the basement out a couple of times, just sending great plumes of smoke because this blade is working like a devil to get through this hardwood. And it's a simple, had to take the guard off and all that kind of stuff. It's a bit of faffing about, but a relatively simple operation. And I'm up and running again with a blade that doesn't create gobs of smoke. Dale Arden. There you go. Dales. Few famous real animator female Dave. Well, Josh, if Dale Evans, if you were around in the good old days, or the bad old days, you'll have seen Tester's paint used on miniatures, and it just looks like whatever detail was there. I don't know if the model makers even bothered adding detail because it was just going to get destroyed. And someone painted it. Oh, come on. Dry your brush off, you goon. Such a Goomba. Okay, there we go. Clean up where I was over exuberant with the other paint. Okay. Yeah, Dale Arden from Flash Gordon. So her mother was a Flash Gordon fan, which, tells you how old Flash Gordon is, because Dale is, she's not ancient, but she's certainly not a young woman anymore. Although beautiful. Really beautiful. Lovely. And such a warm and kind person. Really just a lovely human being. Lovely human being. Dave, for a kind of goony animator, he done did good for himself. He got himself a catch. She's a lovely person. They don't have children, but they have nieces and nephews. And can you imagine that animators for aunt and uncle? They used to put together video animated Christmas cards. Again, they're getting a little past the capacity to do all that, especially him. He's the older of the two, and I think he's slowed down, but man, they're still hilarious to talk to. And so many stories. They're like, oh yeah, when we were working on Ewoks, he did a the sort of pilot intro to Droids. It's a scene flying down into a crater in an asteroid or something, and flies in and around and all this kind of cool stuff. Well, he did that whole sequence for the pilot. He worked on Ewoks as well. Flash Corman game came out in the 30s. Yeah. The name for Ming the Merciless. Yeah, Dave and Ming. How you doing, Dave? Oh, good, good. And how's how's Ming? Can you imagine that conversation? Can't even imagine. How's Ming the Merciless? How's Ming? Say her whole name. I'm not going to say her whole name, Dave. Say her whole name. Fine. How's Ming the Merciless doing? She's well. Thank you very much. Was that so hard? Yes, David was. Yes. I actually am hoping to interview them. Posted on the Nerd Council of Doom site because they also did Rock and Rule. Is that what it's called? It was a say your whole name, Dave. It was a sort of a rock opera cartoon. They worked on that as well. Such neat people, such interesting lives, right? Okay, face facts. Face facts. The fact is, this guy's face is a mess. I mean, he is one ugly, ugly spud. Don't worry, he can't hear me. He's made out of plastic. Okay. Horn. The horn? I do for the horn, we're going to do a bit of a combo. Free cookies! Yes, just check your computer for cookies, everyone. I hope you brought your milk to dip them in. Don't dip your computer in milk. If you do, don't sue me. I'm warning you not to do it. Please do not dip your computer in milk. Oh, come on. Where's my storm cloud gray? Thank you. It's dark gray. It's not dark at all. It's not a dark. This is a dark. Anyway. Pink horn? Ooh, well, okay. A pink horn. I was going to go with a kind of bone color. But if you think pink. Hello, thank you very much, Joe Facetious. If I do pink, you're not going to fix it for me, eh? Oh, I was going to go bone. Einhorn. Yeah. Hello, I am Dr. Einhorn. Hello, I am Dr. Einhorn. Come on. Focus, dude. Yeah. I mean, that's a face only a mother could be afraid of. Oh, dear. Got myself wet. Pink would definitely stand out. It is my birthday. Thank you, Death Angels. Thank you. I am Dr. Einhorn. Tell me about these feelings you have for your mother. Yeah. Oh, you are safe here. Nothing will go beyond this room. All right. A pinkish horn. Pinkish. Yes. As does the skeleton, I imagine, because that's what I felt like this morning. Oh, this vanilla has seen better days. I dare say it's not much, this horn, so I can... Oh, it's all stiff. Is there any liquid in this paint? No. It's all starting to solidify here. Oh, yuck. The great thing about using egg cartons, because we have 3 boys, well, it's just the stuff that's dried up in the cap. It's actually beyond thinning. It's become gelatinous. Because we have 3 boys, I will get another free egg carton very soon. You think it would help? Thank you, poor orc child. Einhorn is Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn. needs to be lying down on the couch. Ich liebe meine Mutter. Oh dear. Yeah, this is. I don't have any thinner, unfortunately. And this is like a water-based latex paint, so maybe just some water. Really, when it comes down to it. Okay. Oh, this red is very thin. Maybe it'll help. That may be too much. I may need more white after all that. Yeah, I can mix it with a brush because I don't have enough stick. Yeah, I want it less pink than that. That's Pepto-Bismol pink. I don't want Pepto-Bismol pink. I'll just use a different white to lighten it. Hey, Art, have a very good night. Thank you for joining us. And coming to my party. Oh, I was going to have party snacks. Man, I should eat some of my pub mix. I don't even have to be in the pub to do it. Water will do the trick. Well, the other paint is doing the trick so far, so I'm not too worried. And it's I want it to be very, very subtly pink. That's still pretty shockingly pink. I don't want Barbie Dreamhouse Dragon. My aunt, I have 3 aunts, but one of them is really only a couple years older than me, and she had the Barbie Dreamhouse, and I mean that thing was immense. I mean, for a kid, obviously. I mean, if I looked at it, I probably would realize it wasn't that big, but to like a 6 or 7 year old, Ace Ventura, I don't know that. I do. I saw that movie, but I saw it in the theater, and then that was it. I didn't like ever own it on video or anything like that. So I don't remember the jokes. So no, I did not get it. But those who did, I am sure, were entertained. Okay, there's what we're going for. The far more gentle, because the really intense pink is gonna be too much for my sensibilities. I am going to have a brief pub mix break. You can imagine gentle music playing. Oh, my hands are all filthy. Well, you know what? I'm sure the powdered stuff on the Chex pub mix, I'm sure that'll protect my hands. 49 again. Yeah, I wish. 53. So tough. Kenny G, there you go. That's what I'm looking for. This is my great weakness with mixes like this. I always want to get one of everything. I think that's it. Nope. Okay. There you go. Nourishment for the journey. Your weakness is malt liquor. Well, there you go. I have to get one of each of those too. See, I don't mind getting older. I sort of mind my birthday. My feeling is, what did I do? And I understand what it's about and everything. But like, I guarantee you, on my actual birthday, I did not want to come out. Who does? Especially in the early 70s. There we go. Real subtle. Subtle, that's me. I am 53, sir. I am 53. I am out of Pop-Tarts, yes. I am out of Pop-Tarts. They don't last long. I gotta tell you, Rode, they don't last long. I did manage last time to give some to the boys as well. The first batch that Lawrence sent up, Dirty Basement Terrain Lawrence sent up, I ate them all. Like, again, I don't have a problem aging. It's my birthday I don't really care for. And I know you can't have one without the other. Like, I'm perfectly willing to say I'm an old man. Happy to say it. But I guess my birthday, I just feel weird about it. Which is part of why I did the stream, to just sort of like own it, you know. It can't be weird if I own it. And just like goofy about it. I never know what to do. I guess what is this? I never know what to do with myself when people wish me a happy birthday. I know, say thank you. I know. I just feel awkward about it. 53 in March. Okay, I turned 53 today. 57, soon to be 58. Oh, it's the cinnamon, the brown sugar cinnamon, the original Pop-Tart. I think it's the original. And for whatever reason, they don't sell that one. They'll sell strawberry, they'll sell blueberry, they'll sell chocolate, which is an abomination, but they won't sell what I consider the best. Were you even seeing this? No, you weren't. Sorry. I should be able to keep it on camera. I've got an enormous monitor right there. I got a huge monitor. I could easily see if I was on camera or not. But I don't. Yeah, yeah, they don't sell them here. I don't know why they don't sell them here. And I have to get pink in all of these, aren't I? In order to do this properly, I've got to shove pink down in and then later hit the highlights on it. It's a sort of ornament seems to have been applied to this creature's horn. Yeah, this is not popping the way I think you intended the pink to pop. But you at you 61, poor orc child. You're a poor orc man at this point, surely. It's not going to like boing the way I think you were thinking it would. But it's meeting somewhere between the very subtle, tasteful bone color I had in mind and the pink pop that you had in mind. Yeah, I don't know why they've got shelf space for Pop-Tarts. Why not include the brown sugar cinnamon? Like, what's the deal? And I get conspiratorial, like, you know, Oliver Stone, you know, I'm meeting Donald Sutherland in a park, and he's telling me why there's no proper Pop-Tarts in Canada. You know, like I get to that conspiratorial level of thinking, like, what are they? Is America trying to break Canada by refusing to give us Pop-Tarts? What is going on? And then there's a store here. For anyone who's Canadian, you'll know it. If you're not, you'll. It's called the Giant Tiger. My wife once was. She was on a road trip with a theater company, and this was before we were even engaged. I think if we were engaged, we certainly weren't married yet. But this was a long while ago. They were out west, and they were looking for a washroom because they'd been on the road for a while between stops. And my wife said, "I wonder if there's a bathroom in the Giant Tiger." And I think it was one of the actors, a director or whatever, I don't know, a stage manager or whatever, said, the question is there a bathroom in the Giant Tiger? The question is there a giant tiger in the bathroom? Anyway, the Giant Tiger sells these knockoff Pop-Tarts, like Toaster Pops or some stupid name. And they have a brown sugar cinnamon, but it's awful. It's awful. Okay, come on, you devil. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Should go up here. When my wife turned 50, I signed up for AARP. She just hit 55. That's just after she hit you, I imagine. Christopher Sims, Blueberry Dragon, yes. The Chlorine Dragon. Dragon is a fantasy equivalent of Doc Holliday. I'm your Huckleberry. Yeah, okay, the pink isn't really showing up here on your camera. If I turn the intensity down a bit, you might be able to see the color better. I got to get him to focus for you. He's not focusing. It's not going to catch that because it's so much brighter than the rest of him. Actually, the way to combat that is to get something. Just trust me. Well, hang on. I got some tissues. They're brighter to cancel that out so that shows up. You need the white balance to be right. So it is pinkish. Well, precisely, Josh. Precisely. Your Giant Tiger just announced it's closing up shop. Oh, that's too bad. You know what? I've always liked those low-end kind of stores like that because Giant Tiger, for the Americans, Giant Tiger makes Kmart look like Macy's. I mean, it's pretty. It's like things that fell off the back of the truck. I stupidly bought cinnamon rolls there once, thinking, "Ooh, cinnamon rolls! I like cinnamon rolls." And like a Cinnabon cinnamon roll, how soft it is and gooey. And these were just it tasted like somebody had described a cinnamon roll to someone who'd never eaten one, and then that person tried to bake them. It was not good. It's not good. Okay. Now I've done that, I can get in and finish the face. Oh, his face is finished. Oh, that's right, but I do have some bits I need to still do green. I'm going to do that. Real fussy bits here. I go around the eye with the green because I don't want to. Okay. Whew. It's difficult. Kmart's where you get your Holmes box set. Yeah. Well, Kmart in the day, it has the stuff, right? It was just kind of, it was never a fancy store, Kmart. Like, at least the one near us, the Kmart was like bare cement floor, right? Or maybe it was sealed or something, but it wasn't. There was no carpeting. The aisles were metal shelves. There's no wood. There wasn't anything to make it look classy. It was just functional, right? It was maybe a step above Farm and Fleet, Nothing wrong with it. Walmart today is kind of a little bit nicer than the Kmart was when I was growing up, but not a lot. There was another one near us, Shopko. I don't know how far Shopko went. I don't know brands and their reach and their scale and all that kind of stuff, but Shopko was nicer. It had carpeting and the shelves were more attractive and everything was just better displayed. It was really the same merchandise that Kmart had, the same kind of stuff. They all had their own store brands, of course, but it was the same kind of merchandise, maybe a little nicer, a little more variety of things, but it wasn't really classy. It just slightly better presentation. So in my town, the Kmart kind of was where you went to shop if you didn't have a lot of money, and the Shopko if you had pretensions, and if you actually had money, you'd leave town and go somewhere else. to shop. If you had money, you'd go to the Bergner Weisses and the Pennies. My grandparents on my father's side had more money, so they would go to the Pennies. I thought for the longest time, I was sure that my parents had found me inside of a football-shaped toy box at Pennies. Convinced of it, I was. By my parents, because they didn't want to explain to a 2 or 3-year-old. I couldn't have been much more than that because they divorced when I was 3. So they didn't want to explain to their little kid how I'd actually come to be. Dropped off by aliens, of course. Nearly 6 years you worked for Kmart. God bless you. The 80s, 90s store layouts over the pretentious stores we get now, and Walmart just looks like a warehouse that was converted into a shop. Yeah, that was kind of what Kmart looked like, at least in my town. You think Walmart's worse than Kmart ever was? Well, it might be. I mean, my memory is not. I mean, this is many years ago. First job at Kmart. Bought my home set from an old newsstand hobby shop. They sold newspapers, magazines, etc. Up front. At the back of the store was a hobby shop. Oh, well, they have to hide that stuff from the police come raiding. Attention shopper, having a blue dragon. Blue light special. Perfect description for most things sold a giant tiger. Yeah, it really, those cinnamon buns were like the biggest disappointment of my life. I think that's when I realized, oh, this place is super down market. I mean, you can tell walking in, you can see the merchandise on the shelves. Also sort of big lots. You remember big lots? Do you have big lots where you are? Now, I've gone and painted this lower thing green, but I'm going to paint it the same pink as the top. So why did I just rinse off the brush? Because I'm an idiot. Oh, no, it was green. I was doing green. That's why. I'm not an idiot, see? I'm not. I'm smart. I'm not a total idiot. 40% max. 40% idiot total. That's as far as I'm willing to go. Not a total idiot. Just a 40, but maybe 50% idiot. Okay, 60 on a bad day. Because people got, I have to have an upper limit here. I was reading, and this has nothing to do with being an idiot because he wasn't. I was reading a story about Gary Berghoff today. About how he quit MASH because he was losing himself and radar was taking over his life. And I imagine, that show was uber popular. There we go. Let's get kind of a top again. You're not going to be able to see it. Harbor Freight. I've never heard of Harbor Freight. And I had never heard of Harbor Freight when I lived in Wisconsin either. So, yeah. Radar O'Reilly. Mego action figures. Ollie's? You still have big lots there? Yeah, there was one in my hometown of Janesville, and it closed, apparently. I got Christmas ornaments there. Toys are too expensive now everywhere. Well, yeah. I got Christmas ornaments at the big lots, these merry-go-round things that they were like, zebras and lions and elephants and stuff, but they all had a pole through them like they were on a carousel. And they're really nice. And then the top of the pole had a loop to hang them from. That's really cool. Princess Auto? I have no idea. I don't even know Princess Auto. We just got an Ollie's recently, too. Haven't actually gone there yet. I don't know what Ollie's is. Thank you, Josh. Harbor Freight's a place you go to buy tools when you can't afford the name brand. But their quality has consistently gone up. Oh, that's good. That's good. Here, I guess you'd go to Canadian Tire for power tools if you didn't have a lot of money. And you can get higher end ones there as well. But even like Home Depot they have the Makita, I guess, what is it? Mastercraft. Canadian Tire has Mastercraft. And they're fine. If you're going to do a lot of work, they're not going to last. But if you're an occasional hobbyist like me, they'll be fine. But I bought the, not Makita. Makita is actually a very good brand. Ryobi. I bought the Ryobi ones at Home Hardware or Home Depot. And for what I do, they last just fine. Scrappy tire. My father-in-law was at least a Canadian Tire devotee. He was red green, he was the prototypical Canadian man. Shopped at Canadian Tire, had a whole bunch of those Canadian Tire dollars. With what's the name of the Scotsman on the Canadian Tire money? It's something insulting like Cheapy McFlint Scrape or something. It's really insulting and inappropriate. But he would have like $5,000 in Canadian Tire money. He could buy an entire set of tires for just with rewards cash. If you don't know what Canadian Tire money is, it's like any rewards program, but it back in the day it was literal money, like little bills. Obviously no value outside of Canadian Tire, but in a Canadian Tire you could exchange, you could use them as money. And if you spent like $100, you got like $1 of Canadian Tire money or something. Now they just give you points on a card and it's boring. But back then you got this actual paper, money substitute. But I mean, when it comes down to it, all money is paper that we say has value. So what's to say that Canadian Tire money didn't have value? But anyway, and it had this picture of a happy Scotsman on it, Tam O'Shanter and everything. And he had a name, and it was something Cheapy McBastard or something, something stereotypically Scottish. Let's see. Got to get to bed, Christopher. You have a go to Nikita Khrushchev Power Tools. You have a good night, Christopher. Ollie's is a discount place like a dollar store. Okay. Watsy was dumping all their unsold merch there at one point. That's where I've heard of it. Okay. Still have Star Wars Rey action figures. They will never sell all of those. Oh, it was the Rose Tito or whatever her name was. Sandy Mature. Oh, Sandy Mature. She danced down at the. Never mind. I'm doing the underside of the wings in that same pink. I may be overdoing it with the pink. I was going to do the underside of the wings in a similar color, but I decided not to. As you can see. Watch him change his mind. This season on The Dungeon Minister. The Dungeon Minister gets old. The nice thing about aging is I'm catching up to how I feel. So I felt like I'm in my mid-50s since I was 32. So, I missed the. It's probably good that I missed the green here because it's easier to paint without having to watch out for it. I'll do that arm later. Just slop it on there, bro. Just slop it on. I'm ignoring the chat, unfortunately, which is how I'm getting painting done. But I should look up every once in a while. McTire, Sandy McTire. Turned 61 a couple of months ago. Well, happy, very belated birthday to you. Super pink and would work well. A dark wash. Well, I will likely be washing it. I've got some, pardon me, I've got a dark wash that I do use sometimes. Going to Scotty's back in the day, they had a Scotsman in an orange and white cap. God bless him. Scotsman, the last group you could really make fun of. I say this with a grandmother whose last name was Watt. So, quarter of my birthright there. Oh boy, I'm nervous. I ignored my own advice here. You're supposed to paint the further down layers first, and then the ones on top. And I went and I painted that green arm, which was such a bad idea to have done that first. I should have gotten that last. There's a lot of paint on this brush. I should maybe go a little easier in these tight spots. Ignoring the chat, starts building golden calf. That's right. That's the prayer, is just God's chat beside his video, you know. I've got the name for building a golden calf. When people ask my name, I always say I'm Aaron. I'm Moses' brother, the one who screwed up all the time. That's me. I hope I can escape my namesake's fate in terms of how his sons turned out. Good heavens. What a mess. Whew. I don't normally get this excited while painting. Don't you blaspheme in here, Aretha Franklin. Newfie's a last group. Yeah, true. Moses won't like that. I went to seminary with a guy named Moses, and I had been there for some years. He had done his first couple of years at a different seminary, and then he transferred. And so I was co-head of divinity, and I was leading the opening week orientations with my the other head. They split it into two, and so she and I were kind of taking people through the, this is where you'll find the bathrooms. This is how you do this and that and everything. And we had a sort of everyone introduce yourself, going around talking, and it got to this guy Moses. He said, "My name's Moses," and he pointed at me and says, "He talks for me." He's a good guy, Moses. He's a really, really lovely man. And from what I knew him in seminary, I bet he is an excellent priest. He's a family guy. He's got, I think, 3 kids. He's got 2. He's got 3 kids as well. His eldest daughter is she just a bit older or just a bit younger than Fleetwood? I can't remember. But she was big into science. Last I knew, I haven't really followed on Facebook lately. Like when I started the Dungeon Minister, I got a new Facebook account for the Dungeon Minister. I got a new Twitter account for the Dungeon Minister, and I got a new YouTube channel for the Dungeon Minister. And so I spend time on those, and I have stopped spending as much time on as myself, on my personal. So those people I don't follow as much as I used to. Anyway, big beard, long staff. Yeah, but Moses is a good guy. He's a good guy, cheerful fellow. Big. Speaking of St. Nicholas, whose day it is on Saturday, big. Not this Saturday, mind you. Saturday, the 6th of December. Big St. Nicholas guy. He would dress up as St. Nicholas, but not Santa Claus. St. Nicholas. I mean, pastoral staff, mitre, and he would not deny any Santa connection. He would emphasize that for kids, but he would tell them about how St. Nicholas came to be associated with giving. Tell the stories, and okay, this is actually turning out okay. The pink was a good idea, folks. The pink was a good. Okay, you can't tell because it washes out. The pink was a good idea. It was a revolution to me when I finally realized that the way to get better clarity on light paint was to put something even whiter in the frame. But it took me a while to figure that one out. All right, checking the time because I am on dog walk duty. Now doing the pink, because it has some holes in the wings, some of the pink has come through. I want to, maybe I should leave that. I don't really want that. It's really small and it's clogged up the hole, so the hole is not visible. I don't want these holes clogged up. So let's see. Where did I put that set of tools? Pink. Yeah. There we are. Just pop these out so that I don't lose the fact that there's a hole there. I don't mind the pink showing, but I want the hole to show too. The fact that it's a hole is kind of cool. Like the wings are all torn up. It's had fights, It's had fights that it did not win, or that it won, but with a cost. Yeah, a toothpick will help with the holes. I got this wicked piece of equipment. Your teeth, any tartar on those teeth? I'll get that off for you. There we go. Make sure the holes are still holes. That's all. Yeah. Cool. Couple blobs of paint that were too thick. And I kind of like the fact that the gray primer shows through a bit on this. It's not like a smooth pink undercoat. There's a little kind of you can't see again. You can't see because it's blown out. There's a bit of mottling effect in there. I like that because it actually kind of looks more organic. I mean, as organic as a dragon with pink horns, and But, okay, now these scales. I could go with the pink. Thank you. I could go with the pink and lightly kind of dry brush the scales down the neck, and then again at the tail. Or I could go with yet another color, like a very pale yellow. That's what my initial thought had been. Meanwhile, I'm going to look at this. I'm going to go. Oh, this is too new. Where's my other storm cloud gray? Lighten that up even more than storm cloud gray. Have any of you ever seen a movie called The Secret of Kells? The Secret of Kells. If you're interested in animation, it is a really good film made by an Irish animation company, and it's not computer animation, it's actual people sat and drew. There's one scene where they use computer animation, but they do it to create an otherworldly effect. That they do it because the place they go in that scene is supposed to be not real, not, so, but it's a beautiful film, beautifully made. It's excellent. It's about the Book of Kells, the famous gospel book. Although it doesn't it's not overt about the religious part of it. I mean, it's overtly religious, but it's not. It doesn't bang you over the head with it. It's quite a beautiful film. There's a sort of mystic magic aspect to it. There's this young girl in the forest. She's awesome. It's a neat movie. Beautifully filmed, animated. Beautifully animated. And one of my favorite movies, actually. And another favorite, I don't know if anyone's ever seen The Legend of 1900. Anyone out there seen The Legend of 1900? Just watched that with the boys the other night. Kind of forgot how much swearing there was in it, but oh well. It's sort of the main character's defining characteristic, how much he swears. Oh well. But there's another lovely movie, just beautifully done. It's a fable. It's like a wonderful romance fable kind of, not romance like kissy romance, but romance as in a view of the world that is beautiful. Great little movie, not very well known. Pruitt, what's his first name? That actor, something Pruitt. He's got like 6 names, but Pruitt's the last one, I'm pretty sure. And Tim Roth as 1900. Brown sugar cinnamon dragon. Yeah. Let's see. I don't know why I'm getting into this fine of a detail this early, but I want to do like, he's got bags under his eyes. Around his eyes. Am I saying I'm tired? I'm painting bags under a dragon's eyes. Oh, come on. Get a bit of that. Nice point, please. My point, and I do have one. Okay, let's see. Just a bit. Oh, that's nice. Once it dries, it's nice. Just a bit of detail around that eye. Hope that one can calm down a bit. Pick up a bit of that excess paint. Okay. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that. I like that. I'm going to use that same color in the jaw, in the stretched skin between the jaws. Yeah. That is good. Nice. Just faint. It's not real heavy, but this makes it a bit more. It always happens to me. I like the first side, I don't like the second. Just go a little too much. Take a bit away. Take a bit away. There, better. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Josh. You know what? Not a big one. We did, Full Fire did make, she made a turkey dish. It was like a turkey gravy dish. She did do that in honor of my American side, but we didn't do like a big to do, because as Midnight points out, Canadian Thanksgiving is the beginning of October. So the second Monday in October. So there's less. But she did stuffing, and the boys eat stuffing like, honestly, this is boxed stuffing. It's not, fancy pants. They prefer the boxed stuff, and they eat it like they're starving men, and this will be the last food they'll ever see. I no word of a lie. Full Fire has made, it's either 6 or 8 boxes of stuffing. It's just a mix, right? She's made like 6, I think 8 of them actually one year, and they still polished it off. The stuffing is, October 13th this year. The stuffing is like the biggest part of the meal, and they finish it off. But it's always the second Monday. So it doesn't matter, what the date is. It's more of a, like American Thanksgiving. It's based on, the day of the month rather than the date of the month. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how much they eat of that stuffing. Okay. All right, folks. You'd rather grill a steak? Well, there you go. I like turkey a lot. Too much, but I like it. I like turkey. I can eat turkey and never get tired. Like, people complain about, we're having Thanksgiving leftovers forever. I'm like, well, send them my way. Yes, please. Oh, no, I have to eat turkey again. I love it. Okay, we're going to see. I don't know about this. It doesn't look good on the video, but it looks better in person. I'll tell you that right now. I'll try to get you a better shot of it in a second. I'm going to clean up around the edges where I got on, I got off of the actual lumpy scales. I'm going to clean up those edges. It kind of does work. I'm not entirely sold on it, but I think it's probably the right idea. Sort of a loose one out on the edge, and I don't want to miss it, but I don't want to smear the rest of the guy, right? You like Arby's. I eat all the meats and the I like Arby's. I love it. Again, Full Fire hates it. She hates it. See, oh my heavens. See, second one, whatever. Stuffing sandwiches with gravel. That's a good autocorrect. Gravel on your sandwich. It's kind of crunchy. Gravy poured over me. Yeah, stuffing sandwiches. Stuffing needs to be red loaves with onions and turkey necks, and it needs to be juices, soaps, and herbs. Trying a bit of stuffing back in the day. Turkey, ham, everything else. Yeah, Arby's. I know, it has this reputation, but I love Arby's. I love it. I could eat Arby's all day long. So now what I'm doing is I'm just taking where the pink went on to just the sort of nubby skin. I only want it on the actual, like, raised scales. I don't want it on the skin, so I'm just getting it off of that. There's a couple spots that got the dry brush just went a little too far. I am going to try to get you a good shot of this, but I want to see if I can nab a couple more spots here first. going as dry as I can. There we are. There we are. It's a happy little scale here. Now I'm going to do this one too, because everybody needs a friend. Now what you're going to do right here, you're going to just drop in. It's your world. It's your dragon. You just drop in some pink wherever you think that pink goes. Wherever it is, you're right. Happy scales. Okay. Yep. Okay. Had a road ranger threaten me and my lady with a head game. What? Wisely backed down and later got a visit from police. Made him memorable. Good heavens, Coco B. Gorilla. That sounds like a very, very unsettling Thanksgiving. Arby's sauce, Gravel sandwich sounds very dwarven. Arby's reputation is totally undeserved. They're one of the better. They really are one of the better fast food options. That's what I keep saying. Sorry if I bumped the mic. I'm sorry if that blew your ears out. So it's just a kind of snow caps kind of look down those scales. And I got a few more at the back here I got to address. That's going to be a pain in the butt-insky. Oh well. What do I do to myself? Like I should just say he's flat green. No details. Go away. I'm so stupid. The Bob Ross miniature painting. Well, there's all those memes, right? Of Bob Ross is like, I'm going to give this. It's going to paint him ogre gray, and on his shoulder, I'm going to put a little goblin with a fireball because everybody needs a friend. Happy pink scales on this dragon. I'm just going to lightly touch those. Just want to get him just kissed with the pink there. That's all you want. Just touch it. Have you ever seen the show? You know what? This is going to require a small brush. It's too clumsy, this big one. Have you ever seen the show of the fellow who taught Bob Ross the technique? William Alexander. He's German, and he talks to Germans who big, powerful mountains. And it's fabulous. He was kind of bitter because he had taught Bob Ross, and then Bob Ross went on. And he does credit in the early seasons a couple times. He'll mention his mentor, William Alexander, but then he stops talking about him. And of course, Bob Ross made a career on that painting style and doing a painting TV show was what Bill Alexander was doing. And Alexander was a little cheesed off because he felt like, it was his thing. And Ross had come along and peed on his cornflakes, as it were. But I enjoy both of them. I love Bob Ross. I mean, you want to feel like the world's okay. Again, that things aren't as troublous as they are. You can just watch the Bob Ross and everything's all right again. But William Alexander's fabulous too. And I remember him from back in the day. I had seen him, and then I saw Bob Ross, and I kind of conflated it in my head, and I thought, that Bob Ross at one point had pretended to do a German accent or something. He had done a German accent as a goofing around kind of thing. I couldn't figure out in my head, and then I read somewhere about William Alexander. Beat the devil out of the brush. Yeah, there you go. Beat the devil out of it. Odorless paint thinner. The people in your house won't hate you. You remember the episodes when Bob Ross would have a squirrel in his pocket? Randomly. Today I brought a squirrel. Like, what the heck? Oh, it's like a painting show and he brings a squirrel. It's like watching a cooking show. And this is my Aunt Agnes. She's along today. No, she has nothing to do with painting. She's just here. Just wanted to bring her on the cooking show. It's like it's nothing to do with the subject. It's just I got a squirrel in my pocket. Is that a squirrel in your pocket? Or you just happy to see me, Bob? I mean, you know what I'm saying, eh? No, I'm just wondering if you're happy to see me. It's all. I'm really happy to see you, Bob. That's all. Just don't get weird about it, Bob. Don't get weird about it. Don't make it weird. The squirrel's making it weird, Bob. The squirrel's making it weird. Yeah, Peanut. Yeah, druid or a ranger. I could also see hobbit. Didn't he sometimes have a drink? Tea or something? Or he called it tea, but it was probably actually bourbon or something. There's wonderful, like early days of the internet, there were wonderful, totally fictitious biographies of Bob Ross going around. He was a Green Beret, that he killed people with his hands. I mean, he had a military career, but it became like he was in Nam and he'd, slaughtered a village full of people. And then he found painting and he got peaceful. It was like all this bizarre stuff. It was like the early days of trolling. And people first realized that you could just put anything online and, hey, why not? Like there were no fact checking anything back then. It was just the true Wild West of the internet. Just like today, I'm not actually a priest and I don't have any children. Wouldn't that be a shocker? For me too, because I'm pretty sure I do. Really messed my life up. It's like, well, who are these people I'm living with? Is that why they keep calling the police every time I come into the house and yell about changing the locks and set the dog on me? Is that why? No, couldn't be. I wouldn't have a squirrel in my pocket. I would have an otter. I couldn't put it in my pocket though. But otters are my animal. If I could be an animal, I would be an otter. And people are like, well, otters don't live that long. It's like, I don't care. It would be quality time. Quantity is not the point here. Look how much fun they're having. TOA, terms of agreement. I don't know. This guy's got a lot of scales. Sure you'd need all of these, sir? Can we cut a few off? I don't have to paint them. Well, cutting them off would be more work than painting them, let's face it. Some of these at the bottom are making me wish I had not stuck him to a base. If I had not stuck him to a base, they would be easier to get to. Well, they ought to be. Yeah, Air Force. Yeah. Introduce your grade 7-8 class to Bob Ross. What is TOA, Coco? I don't know TOA. I'm trying to think what it would be. Tales of Ardor? No. Trolls of Arithmetic. Oh, the Trolls of Arithmetic. LFG. Long friggin' game. Tales of Argosa. Okay, thank you. It is something of something, but not trolls. Tales of Argosa. I don't know why Tales of Argosa makes me think again about the Pendragon cycle, but I think it's the Atlantean sort of angle to it. Argosa sounds like Argonauts, which makes me think Greek mythology, which makes me think ancient world, which makes me think of Atlantis. Yeah, they look like a fun I did not read the books. Did not read the books. Apparently, the producer and director did and really liked them, so I suspect it will be relatively faithful adaptation. It's by someone who really loves the property, not just somebody who realizes that money can be made off the property. That's never good. Okay. Low fantasy gaming. Super Red OSR system, one of my favorite systems ever. Cool. I had not heard of it. Okay. For now, okay. Where are we at? We're past midnight and going strong. At least I am. I don't know about anyone else, but I'm fine. Oh man, this side's a mess. I really missed a lot on this side. Okay. I was gonna do the green, but I gotta do more. Man, I was falling asleep on the job there. I'm not doing so fine. Here we go, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Get your wing here. Get you some buffalo wings, if you know what I mean. No, buddy, don't worry. I'm not going to cut your wings off. Just splash this barbecue sauce around on yourself, would you? Just get it in the corners there. Just make sure it sticks. And come on over closer to the fire, would you? Get that wood smoke smell. I don't even know who I'm talking to at this point. Like, what am I saying? I'm a little crazy. So now around here, and I don't know, where everyone else is, but around here, somewhere before Thanksgiving for us, somewhere around Thanksgiving, so certainly before Halloween, the dollar stores, which are the bellwether, they're the canary in the coal mine, they started putting out their Christmas stuff. It's always so weird to see the zombie bats across the aisle from the, droll little elves. It's a bizarre combination, but it was subtle at first. It was a couple things. Strangely, the first things I saw, Christmas things I saw, were the candies, not the whole, shelves and shelves of it, but a handful of candies. And they're going to be completely stale by Christmas. It's like mid-October and you're putting them out. But those were the first things. And I mean, obviously, as soon as Halloween was over, gone. Even before, on Halloween Day, if you don't have something for your kid's costume by Halloween, do not bother with the dollar store because they're already putting it all away. You're getting the Christmas stuff out. Got stuff to sell. Let's go. All right. A few bits I missed. Okay, I like the gray showing through a little bit, but that's a bit much. Anyway. We always get our Christmas tree for the first Sunday of Advent because we use it as a Jesse tree during Advent. We put every night another ornament goes on. The Jesse tree ornaments, they follow the story of salvation through the Bible. So you get all sorts of wonderful stories and ornaments that go on to, connect to the story. Cool. He's not looking too bad now. It's not looking too bad. Not looking too shabby. Okay. Well, folks, it is 12:25. I think I am going. Now I have to power forward at least with this because I've got to use this up because it's going to be dry. I could probably pour it into a bottle, but I've got all these different things. It's going to be so dry tomorrow. I have a crust over there. Actually, if a crust forms on the top, it'll save. I can just pull the rubbery top off and have access to what's below. I will get this done. I will get this arm done. The Terry's chocolate oranges. Yes. I don't care for chocolate and orange together. My wife really, Fofire really likes it, but I'm. But it's always a good chocolate to get her for Christmas and birthday and stuff because she knows that I won't, eat any of it. Anything else goes in the cupboard, and I'm like, seek and destroy. Right? But she puts one of those away. I'm like, no, it's all yours. I don't want it. Gummy candies too. I don't like gummy candies. Don't like Turkish Delight. I would have so resisted the White Witch. Edmund, like, dude, watch and learn. Turkish Delight. Get that garbage out of my face. Okay. They're big with her too, eh? Yeah, I don't like the citrus and chocolate combo. It doesn't do it for me. I like chocolate with strawberries. I like chocolate with banana. Chocolate's okay with blueberry. Not so big on it. But I just don't. The citrus doesn't. I can't go there. I can't go there. Make it sound like it's some sort of deeply emotional. I just don't like it. I can't do it. I can't bring myself to. Damn it. No, I just don't like it. I don't like it. You ever see Lou and Andy in Little Britain? Ridiculous set of sketches. Andy is in a wheelchair. It comes out that he doesn't need it, but he's in a wheelchair, and his care worker, Lou, is always trying to really, really involved and getting him out to do stuff, and like a great guy. The kind of person that if you had a relative who was disabled, or if you were to say you'd want this to be the care worker because he's dedicated. And it's all right, Andy. I gotta go on vacation, Andy. Yeah, no. Okay, well, where would you like to go, Andy? Anywhere in the world. Here's the brochure. I'll go there. And he'll just blindly point. And you've pointed to Finland. Yeah, no. But you don't like Finland. You say it's dreary. Yeah, I know. You say that Finland is the darkness of your soul, which you cannot overcome with even the brightest of lights. Yeah, I know. So, where do you want to go? Helsinki. All right. And then it shows a plane landing in Helsinki, and you just hear the voice. I don't like it. I want to go home. This is ridiculous. It's the most absurd. And there's another one where he's taken Andy to the pool, and he goes to talk to the lifeguard. And said, "Now, okay, I've got a gentleman here. He's in a chair. We should be able to get him in without too much kerfuffle. And once he's in the water, there's no real kerfuffle there. He's actually pretty kerfuffle free. It's just a bit of a stretch as you're getting him in and getting him out. Those are the times I got. And as he's talking to this guy, though, in the background, you see Andy stand up walk to the diving board, dive in. You know, it's just it's this ridiculous sketch. But he's always trying to, you know, talk to him. You know, do you want to do this? Do that? And, no, that one. What do you want to watch on TV? Monster trucks. Always want to watch monster trucks. Red Dwarf. Oh, it's classic. Well, you know, on UN2XS, on2XS, I was going to leave, then I realized there's bits that I wanted to get to so this paint doesn't dry out and I don't lose it, so I'm sticking around for a while. Let's see. Computer says no. Smoke me a kipper. Chicken and blue. Ace Rimmer, what a man. Oh, yeah. Growing up, I really liked the Dukes of Hazzard and the Incredible Hulk. Those were my shows. And then when I got to university and had cable, because I didn't have cable growing up, man, I found all the British shows. I love those. Oh, growing up, I also loved Hogan's Heroes. And my aunt, I mentioned my aunt, who was just a little bit older than me, we would play Hogan's Heroes in the backyard. So what we'd do, one of us would stand on, they had a really big backyard, and one of us would stand on the picnic table with a flashlight and turn in a circle. And the other one would try to sneak around the perimeter of the yard without being seen by the other person. And if you were seen, you know, the person with the flashlight would call out, "I got you," you know, and you know, land the spotlight on them. 70s Wonder Woman, not really my thing. He used to ride a Yamaha. Ah, gotcha. Got these idea during that period. Well, it looks like Unto XS, like In Excess, the band. $6 Million Man. IT crowd. Yeah. The Rat Patrol. I love that too. I don't remember much of it. I didn't see many of the episodes. Because again, we didn't have cable, so there was no way to like just catch it whenever, and it was only on certain times. But I really enjoyed that one. And the A-Team, of course. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. You know what's really fun on these live streams is I, you know, just banter on about whatever, and I bring up all manner of disconnected trivia. Is going back afterward because YouTube listens in, and then it shows in the description afterwards. It'll show what I talked about. So you're like, when did I talk about that? Then I'll go back and watch it. Go, oh yeah, I guess I did talk about that. Oh, okay. Some of these are a little too much in the pink showing. As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly. That has to be one of the funniest lines ever delivered. And that scene with Les Nessman describing the turkeys falling is one of the great pieces of television. That's up there with Lucille Ball smashing the eggs under her apron, under her dress. Fabulous. Bringing back Airwolf, the $6 Million Man. Airwolf I loved that thing. Gomer Pyle, USMC. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Yeah, good old Gomer. Jim Neighbors. How bizarre is it that Leonard Nimoy recorded an album of himself singing? I mean, come on, dude. Let fame get to your head there. Don't do that. No, don't do that. You can do a lot of things there, Leonard, but don't do that. Even if he's good, and I haven't heard it, and I assume he's bad, but even if he's good, don't. That's just embarrassing. I think Shatner did one too. It's like just stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. You're not good at everything. Star Trek. Well, yeah, Shatner. Get smart. I could see Flag being the umbrella organization that funds them. Yes. And what was so around the same time as Airwolf, Knight Rider, there was this whole thing of super smart, super powerful machines, because there was a Street Hawk, was there? Then there was a motorcycle one. Shatner still records? Yeah, the Bilbo Baggins song. I forgot about that. That was awful. Yeah, the Ballad of Bilbo Baggins. I mean, it's just absurd. You know, like you're sitting there liking Star Trek, liking The Hobbit, and still saying, no, these two never should meet. They should never have met. This is a bad idea. As my wife will sometimes say, was there no one to sit him down and say, Leonard, look, loving your work on Star Trek. You're great. No, you're great. Just fabulous work on Star Trek. But I gotta say about this album idea. Was there no one? Was there no one to tell him, Leonard, buddy, maybe not. Okay, should I do the little spiny things on the inside of the wing as well? Same dark green? Not dark green, but green. I think I should. It makes sense, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Fine. You talked me into it. Really what it amounts to is I stayed up kind of late last night, and so I'm not that tired right now because I slept in. I sleep in till, like 8:30. It's not laying in till 10 or anything. But I figured my birthday I would sleep a little late. I couldn't sleep too late because I had a liturgy to do at a retirement home. Just do it. Great again. Got Sheila Buff in the chat here. Just do it. Do it. Whatever happened to old Shia LaBeouf? Shia LaBeouf? Small can of house paint. You could do the bathroom in it. Depends on how big your bathroom is and how small the can is, I suppose. Yeah, so I was done. As I was saying, I was cutting lumber for the. I'm going to put a fake wall up behind. I mean, fake wall. It's a couple pieces of paneling. Putting up behind where I'm going to be filming downstairs, so that I can put the words up. The statues' lines, and the various pop-up characters. Their lines could show up against a nice neutral background. And so I'm got the lumber cut for that. I'm going to frame it up just enough. I'm not going to be like, it's not going to be like, 16 inch on center. I'm just doing enough to hold the structure in place, to hold the panels in place. It has to be solid enough if I bump it or something, but it does. Oh, that actually does look pretty good. Yeah, that was a good idea. Yes, that's right. Because he really mission irresponsible. That's right. Seen the white YouTube channel Daddy Rolled a One? Does these really deep dives on old school D&D? I have seen those. Yes. I think I mostly see him on his Twitter feed, to be honest. But yeah, he does. He goes deep on it. Hui. Nerve-wracking stuff, folks. Oh boy. This is the kind of stuff that always just gets my nerves all bound up. Look at all this stuff I missed. Man. Don't let me go to bed when I've left this. What are you people doing here? I'm not blaming you. I am blaming you, but I'm not going to blame you for it. I'm not going to blame you for the fact that I'm blaming you. Oh, man, I even missed some of the pink in there. Jiminy Christmas. Okay, you get in there. Now I'm going to have to leave it for a little bit while that dries. Not long, though. That's great. One great advantage to using craft paint for this kind of stuff. It's a lousy medium to be working with on minis, but it dries very quickly. Did your videographic career start with COVID? It really did. You know, I had edited a few things with the kind of default thing that came with my laptop 2 laptops ago. Now I don't even use a laptop, but I'd done some things where I edited movies for the boys. They went on, they're going to film a Robin Hood movie, and it's just them clambering around in their bathrobes and whatnot when they were really little. And so I had edited those movies for them, and he did a silly silent film. I got silent movie music to go with it, and the weird old lady was the silent film. It was very strange. Anyway, I'd done that for them, but then the lockdowns happened, and I guess I'll do videos, and so I started doing the editing on the videos. I did what I did was I just did an audio recording, and then I found paintings, classic paintings, and nerf racking. Actually, we do have so much nerf that we need shelving for it. Joe facetious, not even being facetious. I had to dedicate an enormous long, is it 10 feet, 12 feet? 3 shelves, deep shelves, like 1.5 2 feet deep. 3 shelves for Nerf guns. It's the armory now, and there's guns on all the shelves, and on the top of the shelf there's a basket full of Nerf darts and a little compartment thing full of the balls for the ones that shoot little rubber balls, and all this. Just it's insane. So yes, Nerf racking. I do have a Nerf racking life, but yeah. So I also have to, for this new studio, I have to build a table, because the table that I've been sitting at for 4 years, it belongs down in the church basement. I can't take it home, and it's also way too big. Even if I could, it's way too big for our downstairs, and I don't have anything else to go down there that would fit. So I have to build a new. I was thinking of going and finding at a thrift store or something. It's like, no, you know what? I'll just build it. It doesn't have to be super stable. It doesn't have to be able to hold the Thanksgiving dinner or anything. It doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to hold the statues while I talk. So I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I think I'm gonna get the frame up for the paneling, and I'm gonna get the table built tomorrow. Then I have to figure out how I'm mounting the lights. I think I may take some of them and mount them to the
ceiling joists down there. The ceiling is very low, so I have to duck to get down there. But of course, once I'm sitting down, it won't matter. I'll be sitting down. Well, how many other pastors do I know that have an RPG channel? Well, when I first came on here, Retro DM Ray was on, and he's pastor, and DM Tales is a Baptist minister. Nerf racking across the universe. Just Stain and Varsity, the new Babel. Oh, your autocorrects tonight are fabulous. Midnight. Stain and Varnish, the new Table. Stain and Varnish, the new Babel. Well, I think New York is commonly assumed to be the new Babel, isn't it? I didn't paint the town red. I'm here to varnish it. Sorry. or paint and I'm here to varsity it. Oh man, that was funny. I rewatched The Dead Poets Society the other night. I forgot how good it was. Forgot how good that was. I get a lot of movies watched late at night. Okay, he needs a little cleaning up here. Even I can see that. I think I had intended to, and then I just never got back to it. Should do a Nerf version of the John Wicks. The boys go out and they have Nerf battles in the yard, and then, for the next 3 days, I'm picking up Nerf darts everywhere. Before the dog does, right? Swallow. Well, there goes the dog. He's not going to poop for a week until he passes that dart. You got to get him before he eats them, because he does go after them. He has chewed them up. He's never gotten one down, but he's chewed them up before. And man alive, you don't want to deal with that vet bill. Yeah, the boys go to violin tomorrow, so the car won't be in the garage, so I'll be able to, because I just cleared the garage out to be able to put the car in there. Something I don't understand about Canadians. Y'all seem to never use your garage to store your car, at least here in Ontario. See all these people, and they got these garages, and they're just full of stuff. They just cram them full of crap, and then they park their car outside. That's the single most expensive thing you own other than your house. And you just leave it sitting out in some of the worst weather you're going to find. Like, come on, people. This bothers me. So the one thing I hate more than anything is having to scrape the car when I have a garage. If I don't have a garage, if there's no garage available, like at work, there's no garage there, the car's out. If they have to scrape afterward, fine. That's life in Canada, I do say to my wife, why couldn't you have been like Australian or something? But anyway, not her fault. She didn't pick where to be born. But yeah, when I have a garage and I forget to put the car in, I beat myself up the next day as I'm scraping. Hate it. What figure? It is, well, that's a good question. Is it a wyvern? Is it a dragon? We decided it's a wagon. I think it's good. Tempo is the way to go, like a Ford Tempo. Yeah, anyway. So, he's dragon and he's very nice. He's very sweet. He's very friendly. He's Puff, the magic dragon. He lives by the sea. And he will eat you as soon as look at you. Because he's very, very fierce. I no longer know what I am saying. Oh, did I say earlier I wasn't tired? I may have to amend that. I'm getting there.
Temporary car shelter. Ah, well, see, I have a garage. I can use a garage. All I have to do is put the bikes on the sun porch. We don't use the sun porch in the cold weather. It's uninsulated, it's unheated. So it's not like we're missing it. I get that out there, and then I don't have to worry about it. It's well protected. Just drives me nuts to have a garage, and when I forget to put the car in the garage, like I get home and I think my wife is going to go out, so I think she's going to use it, so I don't put the car in the garage, and then she doesn't, but I forget to go back out and put it in there. Oh, because I'm sitting there scraping a car that I didn't have to scrape. I shouldn't have had to do this. It just bugs me. I'm giving him a red throat, because why not? I'm going to put black at the very back, maybe. Inside of his mouth. Going to make the tongue a lighter red. Not pink. There's too much pink on this dragon already. But actually, the pink doesn't really show as pink. It has a pearlescent quality, not pearlescent, but it has a softer quality than just being white, which is nice. But it's not so bright. But it's full of crap. See, there you go. Really, that is a narrow. That is very narrow. Ours, if you put the car in the right way, you can get out the driver's side fine, but the passenger has to wait until you pull out, which is fine. I just pull out and everyone piles in. Although when coming home, if it's just the boys, they always want to stay in the car until it's in the garage, and then they can't come out on my side because it's wide enough that if I jockey way over, they can get out. Oh yeah. That's nice. Okay, 2 colors of red in the mouth. That's good. Christmas red. So when he goes to eat you, he'll wish you a Merry Christmas first. You drive on Sundays. For some reason, I thought the rectory was church adjacent. So there was a rectory built just next to the church, but a former rector owned a house when he came to the church and didn't want to sell it and move. So he got them to change it into the church offices. So the church house basement is where I have been recording until recently. I have to leave it because of circumstances. So now it's just offices. They changed it and they made it into office spaces. And meeting rooms and things like that. So no, the rectory is no longer a rectory, so I don't live there. I wish I did, but I don't. The real reason they had it transformed, it wasn't, I'd say it's because he had his own house and he didn't want to sell. That's not really the case. The reason they did that is that what happened with the rectory, it's great while you're serving, but as soon as you retire, you don't have a home and you don't have equity. And there's no investment that you could make that's going to keep up with the housing market, right? So, even if you stuff the money into savings, some not savings account, but some investment fund, by the time you retire, housing will have skyrocketed, especially in the GTA. Housing would have skyrocketed so far you're not getting a house. So the problem is priests were retiring without anywhere to live. Now, that's somewhat ameliorated by the fact that, frankly, a lot of priests just serve until they drop anyway. Okay, I need the tweezers. Oh, there's a hair in this guy's mouth, which I didn't notice until just now when it got painted white. This is
bright white hair hanging into his mouth. It's cheesing me right off. Okay, where's my tweezers? Oh, it's right there. Okay, bugger it of him. Oh, it's not a. Oh, okay, there it is. It's tiny, but it's terrible. Yeah, GTA. Yeah, GTA. Thank you. Midnight Einhorn is turning out quite nice. I'm liking him. He's got character. He's got character. Yeah, so the Toronto area, I don't know where you're located, but the Toronto area is mad housing prices, like any big city, really. But especially so in the Toronto area. I think Vancouver is the only place I think in Canada that rivals it for price. Montreal is probably up there, but I think it's still cheaper. Even Montreal, I think, is cheaper than Toronto area. So yeah, you end up without a place to live, and it's awkward because the new priest is going to move in, and you're like, but can I stay another 2 weeks? I can't even found a place yet, and that's just the other priest is showing up, and you're still having showers there, trying to. I'll be quiet. Yeah, but the room you're in, that's going to be the nursery. The baby needs a place. Can you get out, please? Okay, now he's got his teeth. His face is shaping up. Still have a little detail work to do. Need to do eyes. Eyes, black, I think. I was going to go red, but I don't want to have the red eyes with the red mouth. Toronto, Vancouver, then Montreal, yeah. You must be responsible, go to bed. Well, you be responsible, Josh. That is the responsible thing to do. And as it is my birthday and I am older, I appreciate responsibility. You have a good night, young man. Tonight, everyone is young to me. I don't care if you're older than me, you're young tonight. Somehow the eyes have made him look less fierce. Is French a highly suggested language in your area? If you're in the government, it's a near necessity to be bilingual. I say near necessity because the actual level of bilingualism is not high. But in terms of day-to-day, like just everybody, every day, no, not in the GTA. Punjabi more than French would be useful here. So there he is. He's got his eyes. So to do some dry brushing detail work all around, but yes, in Montreal, absolutely. In Montreal, French is extraordinarily useful. Although in Montreal itself, it's easier to get around with just English than it would be in the rest of Quebec, I think. As I recall, in fact, an Anglican priest, when I've seen postings for priests in the Diocese of Montreal, bilingualism is not required. French is not needed. But then you go to Gaspé, for instance. Yes, if you're not speaking French, you're not talking to anybody because they all speak French. Okay. I'm gonna keep plugging on here because I'm having fun. I'm gonna do. All right. I have gold, I have silver, I have copper. On the front of his horn, if you can tell, bring more tissues. There's this scroll work kind of stuff on the front of his horn. I don't think it's ever going to show up. Maybe if I really get in and do this. See that detail work on the front of his horn? What color should I do that in? Silver, copper,
Gold. Which of these is going to look best with this color scheme? I think they'll all look hideous. Silver, maybe? I think silver would look best with that color scheme. I'm thinking silver, but I'm going to let it rest for a little while you guys have a chance to chime in and let me know what you think. I'm going to do what color do I even have? But damn. I would not presume to say what the French Canadian it sounds like. I have a French Canadian fellow in my congregation, and I think to the untrained ear, it really just sounds French, right? But there is a quite distinct dialect there. It is not just French. But again, to someone who doesn't interact a great deal with the French, you could just, you might not notice. But it's pretty distinct, as they may say. Just doing a light dry brushing with some gray to pick up the edges of the scales and to differentiate it from the upper body. Hard to get some of them, of course. Thanks, model maker. Little more. Oh, yeah, it's in the cap. So weird with dry brushing. You get to the point where there's almost nothing on there. And you think this isn't going to have any effect whatsoever. But the subtlest of touches really does bring it out. Little more. I'm on board with copper. Silver would go with the color tones and again might blend in with the white. This is really looking good on the bottom there. Yeah, you're not gonna see it. Let's see. It's just subtle. Shows up more in person. Trust me, it shows up more in person. Looks pretty good. Copper, because patinaed copper is that greenish color, but it's not patinaed. It's just, hello, General Nut. So are you? Joie. I speak Quebecois and joie, not French or English. Yeah, but it's not at all a patina. It's not at all a patinaed copper. It is just copper. Copper. I think silver might be better. Bill thinks he will hit 10,000 subs. I'm sure he will. He's over 8,000 now, and he's making shorts like a madman. He does really interesting shorts. If you don't know the Dungeon Delver, head on over to Bill Sylvie's channel. A Delver's Dungeon, I think is what the official title is called. Ow. He's been making shorts, though, about the history of D&D. And he starts like, did you know, in the first edition of D&D, there's a typo that says Gary Gygax has a fat head, or whatever it is. They're just snippets, interesting little tidbits from the history. Mix silver with a little drop of green. What are you testing me, kid? Are you testing me? I'm just gonna try silver and see what it looks like, and I can go over it with a little dry brush of green if I. Okay. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. RESPECT. Okay. Well, that's looking good. Holding my breath. I'm holding my breath. I still have my hat on. Yeah, that was the right choice. The right choice. Bill's how you got here? Oh, God bless him. Pain woke you up? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, General. Sorry to hear that. Yeah. That was the way to go. It doesn't blend in. It's distinct enough. In person, even more so, and it picks up the gray from his snout. Now, I do want to go over the gray with his snout with a little bit of very light black dry brushing to give it some depth. I know it should be the black on the bottom and the lighter color on top, but I think I can make it work. I can do it. Putting on the Ritz. Grew up in Central Florida, frequented many of the places he did and does. You're an IT guy. Yeah, really. Well, the hobby brings all together. I would never have met a Floridian IT guy were it not for D&D. Okay. Just brings a little bit more definition to it. It doesn't look good on the camera. Trust me that in person it looks much better. I think I got a little overboard. Oh, I got one of his teeth. Poop. Poop. Yeah, my teeth pooped. Call myself an X-flat. X-pats, X-flat. There we go. There we go. Blueberry muffin for late snack. Is this general? Is this pain that is ongoing kind of thing for you, or is it just a this evening kind of deal? I tell you, I have had my right arm has hurt for over a year now. You ought to be in pictures. I ought to be in pictures.
See, I'm just doing a bright dry brush. Someone earlier was saying a dry brush with a light color on the wings. I like that idea because there's lots of wrinkles in the wings, the membranes of the wings. So this picks up the high points and really emphasizes those. It's a nice look. Yeah, that was a good idea. Whoever that was a good idea. It was a good idea of mine to listen to it. Hey, General. Ongoing. Oh, painful stuff. Sorry to hear it. Decade. It's rough if it's waking you up too, you know. It's got a little bit of highlight. Now I think I need to do a little bit of dry brush on the back. I think I'll use a brown. It's a rough thing if it interrupts your sleep because I mean, then it's talking about pain and tired. You know, pain and exhausted. Not fun at all, my friend. Not fun. General Nutt was one of the. He was a real mensch, I had to say. At ClearCon this year, one of the attendees remained nameless. It's his business, but one of the attendees was not feeling well, and don't know if we ever knew what exactly was going on, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, not our business. But sat out there with him, stayed with him, missed his dinner for it too. Good man, our General Nut. He's a nut, but he's a general nut. He's not a specialist nut. He doesn't specialize. He's a general nut. Good morning, Ian. How are you doing? What can Brown do for you? It was a very good dinner, sir. It was a very good dinner. I know your daughter and her boyfriend, fiance, I don't know, husband, I don't know what the status is there, but I know that they did end up getting dinner. Ooh, too much. Hey, look at that. Got rid of it. They did end up getting dinner, so glad some of yous did. At any rate, our friend who felt poorly did not, but I don't think he would have kept it down if he had, so it's probably for the best. Shame, though. Get off of there. What can Brown do for you? Well, can text you the legs of a dragon. No, it wasn't. It was just a gray. I just noticed a spot that needs the gray. I was glad, though, that we were able to get you into a game later on. The next day, I guess it was. That was fun. I've still got to recap that one. I haven't had a studio since then, so I haven't done any recaps since the con. Well, since well before the con, actually. I haven't had a studio for a while now. So I'm building one in the basement. My wife, Fofire, has taken to calling it my dungeon. So I will be the dungeon minister down in a dungeon, ministering, licking my wounds, mostly. Okay. Put this on there too, because it works wonders. How nice. Well, there we go. Okay.
Just making sure that the textures get textured. All right. WRB. Do I have a favorite craft paints brand or just whatever's on clearance? You know what it is, my friend? It is Dollar Store. So this Craft Smart is at Michael's, which is not Dollar Store. It's quite expensive, but they'll have it on sale every once in a while in a whole package of colors, and they have different ones. They'll have like all the primary colors, bright stuff for kids, and then they'll have earth tones, that kind of stuff. So I try to get them that are appropriate. But mostly what I end up getting, a lot of these are that actually. Mostly though, what I get is the Deco Art. It's what the Dollar Store around here carries. There are $2 stores in this town. It's a small town. There's a Dollarama, which is a big chain, but then there's also a small independent place. Now that place has fallen off. The woman who owned it sold it, and the people who bought it, bless their souls, are not doing a very good job with it. I'm afraid it's going to close because they sell the Ready Board, the really good foam core. It's actually not great foam core because the paper peels off, but that's the point. You want to peel the paper off for doing terrain, and I've not found anywhere else around me. I mean, Dollar Tree sells it, but there isn't a Dollar Tree. I'd have to drive into Brampton for a Dollar Tree. Nobody wants to drive into Brampton. So I'd rather they didn't go under, but I can only buy so much Ready Board. I can't keep them open by myself. If I could, I would. But yes, I'm hoping they don't go under. The other thing they do really well is balloons. For the boys' birthdays, we've gotten the balloons there every year. One year, we didn't. You have to order them in advance. At least you did with the old lady there. The old lady, she wasn't it, but the former owner. You had to order it in advance. And one year we missed the cutoff, and we had to get them somewhere else. And half of them popped within the first day. 2 or 3 of them just in the car on the way home, which is alarming in a small car to have that happen right behind you, 3 inches from your ear, kind of thing. But good morning, Yorkshire Matt. How you doing? I'm going to say converted our spare bedroom into a crafting room. Oh, is your lair? Oh, very nice. How big is the town? You've got 2 Timmys. Wow, you smell you. We've got 1 Timmy's. Although the people who own the Timmy's in our town also own one out on the highway, but it's too far away to be considered in our town. It's not ours, it's theirs. It belongs to the wild. The wild people go to that Timmy's. And they do their wild people things. You know the tales of the wild men? You know what they did to your brother Robert. I do not speak of Robert. Do not mention his name. Robert loved you. He rebelled against me. Aye, but he loved you nonetheless. I have no idea who Robert is. Sorry, I'm just making this up as I go along. Claws should be white or black. Or should they be black? Should the claws be white or black? I think they're going to be black. I'm going to change this. I think black claws. Thank you. No, go away. Go away, white. Give me black claws. How are things in Yorkshire, Matt? I don't mean how are things in Yorkshire, Matt. I mean, how are things in Yorkshire, comma, Matt? I mean, I hope things in you are good as well. I mean, I hope you're not, ill or anything like that. Speaking of ill, if you are of the praying sort, please pray for Bess. She's a little girl. She's not been well. They're finding out soon what the results of some tests are, so we're all very hopeful. Really, really sweet little kid in our parish. And her parents, God bless them, I mean, Talk about nervous. Can't get more nervous. Lat claws, I think so too. That's what I thought. The peasant blood accent. Trying to figure it out. Bless you. I have been by my other campaign, my other in-person campaign. I have been pushed to create stuff on the fly. That campaign is almost entirely zero prep, or rather, I did prep and then they went in a different direction, so all my prep went out the window. But it's been delightful. Like the sort of loose and fluid nature of it has been a lot of fun to do. I do have to watch the time because I don't want to be okay. 1:21. I will not paint much longer, folks. I'm going to have to eventually cash it in because 1:21 in the morning is a bit much even for me, because I have to still take the dog for his nocturnal perambulation to avoid saying the W word, or it will have to happen immediately, or he'll lose his ever-loving mind. I tell you, a hound can whine like nobody's business. He can be a big, kind of rough and tumble dog, but the minute he wants something, good Lord, what a baby. Whinge, whinge, whinge. Okay, I'll get this down to a point. Do you ever get giant wooden rabbits flung at your wet and cold, 6:20 a.m., just getting ready for work? You work in a castle. So that's awesome, Yorkshire Matt. What do you do in the castle? Do you have fun storming it? I've never clicked through to find out. Do you have a YouTube channel about this castle that we could watch? And if you don't, why not? Please start one. I will be your first subscriber. Hertfordshire. I made up some tables for random town encounters. One was simply a traffic jam of carts. They spent 2 hours trying to figure out the cause and why the people were so angry. Hey, midnight, you have a good night. You have a good night. Interview on Sunday evening, launching a new show. Awesome. Conisbrough Castle. You clean it and show people around. Awesome. What's your new show? You're launching it as in it's a show of yours, or you're on it as the guest? Which do you mean? Launching it as in your new show or someone else's new show in which you are interviewing and launching by means of being the first interesting person they talk to? I don't mean they've talked to boring people before and now you're the first interesting one. I mean you're interesting and you're the first one they're talking to. Although maybe they've talked to boring people and now they want to have you on to launch it because it's been a failure to launch because they've been interviewing boring people. I don't know. I'm making this more complicated than it needs to be. I'm like that traffic jam that General Nutt made. It reminds me of the Dungeon Delver tells about putting a dungeon, and the characters, the PCs come across a wall on which is written the word overthinking. And they spend like an hour or two of table time trying to figure it out.
Just walking right into that brick wall. Tennessee Tabletop Tavern channel. Bad News Bards. Cool. Because they present. They present. Built in 1180, and the rumor is there are tunnels underneath it. And between shifts, Yorkshire Matt is down there searching for buried gold. And he has 3 days to do it. He has 3 days to find it. Okay, folks, I will do more touch-up later on, but as of this point, I'm going to turn into a pumpkin. And I mean, the British people are logging on now. You know, they're waking up and logging on. That means I've been on for a long time. He isn't as bright as he looks on the screen, at least on my screen. Maybe your screen he doesn't. Oh, okay. In that picture, he looks like, what's that old time actor there? Talk like that. Oh my heavens. Okay. Well, that made me laugh. Anyway, so he doesn't have as bright in person as he looks on screen. I better get to bed or log off. I'll stay on because I have to clean all this up anyway. I'll keep nattering as I clean up. Thank you very much for joining me on my birthday bash. It is no longer my birthday because it's the next day. So I survived. Actually, despite the card for this video and the title and everything, I'm really very chill about aging. Again, as I said earlier, it's not aging that bothers me. It's actually my birthday, which is why I thought I would just embrace it with this stream and try to get over it. I just don't know what to do with myself when people. Thank you, General. I just know what to do with myself when people start congratulating me for something that I didn't really do. So I talked to my mother. She did all the work that day. Anyway, I know it's churlish of me, but churlish is my middle name. Father Aaron Churlish O'Rear. Anyway, how many trips have you completed around the sun? 53, my friend, 53. 53 years old. Happy belated birthday. Thank you. That's clever. Playing with power tools. Well, yeah, that's good. Just play, cautiously with them. I've been on for a little over 3 hours. No, 2.5, surely. Maybe 2.5. Because wasn't I? Oh no, 3, almost 3.5. Oh golly, good golly. Okay, yeah, I've been on for a while. Y'all have a good night. Einhorn here I'm gonna hide him away so the boys don't see him and get ready for him. I don't know when he'll appear in the game, if he'll appear in the game. I just chose him because I liked him. But y'all have a very good night. And stop calling me Shirley. And I will see you all. There we are. Bright light, gizmo. Oh my heavens. Y'all have a good night and take care of yourselves.